KRLD, Dallas, with more audience than any other Dallas radio station, as reported by the American Research Bureau.
CBS News. Former President Nixon was subpoenaed today to testify as a defense witness in the Watergate cover-up trial. I'm Jim Kilpatrick, reporting on the CBS radio network. The subpoena was issued at the request of attorneys for former Chief Domestic Advisor John Ehrlichman. Ehrlichman's attorney told CBS News, as far as he is concerned, Mr. Nixon now has the same status as any other citizen, and predicted that the former president would probably be under examination and cross-examination for some time. Ehrlichman is one of the 6 defendants accused of trying to cover up the original investigation of the break-in at the Democratic National Headquarters called Watergate. Republican members of the House Judiciary Committee have prepared their draft report on impeachment. The Republicans contend there was no persuasive impeachment evidence against the former president until his own disclosure last week. The minority report differs from the majority version, saying only that Richard Nixon joined in an ongoing conspiracy to obstruct justice. The majority report says Nixon directed the Watergate cover-up from the beginning. The question now is what to do with the report. Democrats favor some type of full House action, giving the information more status than just a routine committee report. Representative Charles Rangel of New York.
The president, through his resignation, has somehow left some small vacuum in the record that we are prepared to leave for history. To that extent, I think it's very important to realize that a vehicle must be found for our report to be accepted as the factual situation in which the president left the office, as opposed to his statement that he was only guilty of bad judgment and erosion of his political base.
Democratic Congressman Charles Rangel, a member of the House Judiciary Committee. More CBS News after this.
Hards Mountain announces the no-flea guarantee. We're so sure our flea-killing collar kills any flea on your dog or cat, we'll give you an unconditional money-back guarantee. If not satisfied, write Harts, Harrison, New Jersey. The Harts flea-killing collar, the collar with a no-flea guarantee.
Get the Harts flea-killing collar immediately. We guarantee you'll never see an itchy flea.
Hey, Janet, this laundry hamper's turning ripe. Where's the Lysol spray?
Mom, my bed sheets are all hot and sticky. Where's the Lysol spray?
Where's the Lysol spray disinfectant? Someone's always using it. Whenever the laundry hamper gets emptied, it gets sprayed to kill germs that can turn into an odor problem in hot weather. And hot, sticky sheets? We spray them to keep them fresh between changes. And to kill mold and mildew on things in the bathroom. Bob, where is the Lysol spray?
People need what Lysol spray does.
Richard Nixon's presidential tape recordings and documents will remain at the White House pending further talks with the Watergate special prosecutor. Yesterday, Nixon's former Watergate attorneys, J. Fred Buzzard and James St. Clair, ruled that the Nixon materials not yet subpoenaed or made public were his own property, presumably to handle as he wished. That apparently is now not the case. Today, in what White House officials described as a related development, President Ford asked for the resignation of White House attorney J. Fred Buzzard. Buzzard will be replaced by Mr. Ford's former law partner, Philip Buchan. The American Civil Liberties Union has challenged as discriminatory the Social Security regulations that deny most widowers the right to collect their wives' benefits. Surviving wives can collect when their husbands die, but that is not the situation in reverse cases. The ACLU says this is discrimination against men and has filed suit to have the regulations changed. Acting with unusual speed, both the Senate and the House moved closer today toward creating the Cost of Living Task Force, which President Ford requested. Committees in both houses have approved a bill creating the agency, although the name differs in each house. Many congressmen approved the measure with some skepticism, saying it would really do nothing to combat inflation. More after this.
Before you invest in a color TV, listen to what these experts say about solid state versus tube type sets. Terry Evans, TV Chief Engineer, San Diego.
Color quality on a 100% solid state set will remain stable for much longer than it would on a tube set.
John Silva, KTLA TV.
I would buy a solid-state television set over a tube set anytime.
In a nationwide survey, 95% of the TV chief engineers polled said they'd prefer to buy solid-state for their next color TV. And it's no accident that more than twice as many of these experts own RCA as any other color TV. Lynn Rogers, WXIA TV.
If I was going to recommend a TV to a friend, I would recommend the RCA XL100.
For color, for reliability, consider the new RCAs. Every one is an RCA XL100. 100% solid state. Don't settle for less.
The Senate has approved without dissent a $20 billion energy research and development program. The 10-year plan is supposed to make the United States self-sufficient in energy for all of its energy needs. The American Petroleum Institute says even before the end of summer, the United States has accumulated an inventory of winter oil products hundreds of millions of gallons more than last year. And despite the vacation driving season, stocks of gasoline are up by more than 800 million gallons. I'm Jim Kilpatrick, CBS News.
Get ready for action at Margie's in the fastest jeans that ever made tracks for back to school. All kinds of teen and junior jeans, stopwatch priced at Margie's for just $5, $6, and $7. Freewheeling values to $16. So hurry, the race starts at 9:30 a.m. Friday and Saturday for the greatest winners in jeans for teens and juniors. Just $5, $6, and $7. Values to $16 at all neighborhood Margie's.
I have seen it. I have seen Penny Whistle Park. Have you ever seen an amusement park underneath the great big blue, my friend? Penny Whistle Park is the place you should go. Grab your family and come on in. Penny Whistle Park, a new kind of family fun center. Come in and ride the rides or try one of our special birthday parties. Open 11 to 9, Northwest Highway and Plano Road.
The CBS Radio Mystery Theater presents... Come in. Welcome. I'm E.G. Marshall. Welcome to our house. It's a haunted house, we admit. Haunted by strange creatures, hidden terrors, the cries of spirits, and the moans of unravaged victims. But it's a pleasant place to visit, even if you wouldn't want to live here. We're going to introduce you to a most unusual heroine. Not the sort of woman you might expect to encounter in a story of crime and violence.
No, Mr. Wormer, this one is not a cop. She's been acting like a cop, but that's not what she is.
Please. Oh, please let me go. I didn't mean any harm.
Oh, no, sugar. You're no cop at all. What you are is a nun.
Our mystery drama, The Final Vow, was written especially for the Mystery Theater by Henry Slesser and stars Rosemary Rice. It is sponsored in part by Buick Motor Division and Anheuser-Busch Incorporated, brewers of Budweiser. I'll be back shortly with Act One.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah?
I would like to ask a deceptively simple question.
Okay.
I say deceptive because few people seem to know the answer.
Go ahead.
Are you ready?
Yeah, ready as rain.
Okay.
No, wait. I think that should be right as rain.
Oh, well...
No, you wait. Make that ready as I'll ever be, okay? Ready as I'll ever be.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, the question is this.
Yeah, go ahead.
What happens this time of year? Huh?
That's it. Huh?
That's the question.
That's the $64,000 question. That's the one for all the marbles, right?
Well,
That's the one that's on everybody's lips, huh?
Yes.
That's the question. Well,
good.
As everyone should know, what happens this time of year is that Buick dealers are giving great deals on 1974 Buicks, which of course means that this time of year may very well be the best chance you'll ever have to buy a Buick. From the thrifty but surprisingly elegant Apollo to the dashing full-size LeSabre to the Electra, which surprisingly enough is the second largest selling luxury car in America.
Know it all.
Ramada Inns announce kids that cost less. Your kids 18 and under stay free when they share your room. Now that's a real family plan. And Ramada Inns serve you up great family restaurants with everything from hot dogs and hamburgers to your favorite steak. Dial 800-228-2828, toll free for reservations.
Ramada Inns.
et Spiritus Sancte. Amen. Pater noster, qui es in coeles, sanctificetur nomen tuum, adveniat regnum tuum, fiat voluntas tua sicut.
You're hearing a familiar sound at the Holy Name Convent, the sound of the Holy Sisters at their devotions. But if you had been allowed to enter the chapel and seen the faces half hidden among the folds of their wimples, you may have seen something more than sacred concentration, because one of their number is missing.
Sister Pamela? Sister, are you in there?
Yes, I'm here. Come in.
Oh, Sister Pamela, you've been crying.
No, I'm all right. I'm just not feeling very well. I asked Reverend Mother if I could be excused this morning.
Oh, you can't fool me. I can see rivers on your cheeks, Sister. Now, you've done nothing but cry for weeks.
Sorry, Sister Jem, I tried so hard to hide.
Why can't you be happy, dear? Don't you know it's spring? Can't you feel God's love for the world when you see a day like this?
It's my fault, Sister Jem. I can only blame myself.
Oh, nonsense. There's no one to blame. You're young, child. Now, tears are a pleasure when you're young. Here, let me wash your face. Sister, you're not thinking about what we spoke of the other day.
I haven't been thinking of anything. I'm trying not to think.
And have you prayed?
Oh, I've prayed. I've prayed for humility, for obedience. But there wasn't any answer in my heart. Only silence. Do you suppose that...
Hush, child.
But if I'm wrong, Sister, if I truly belonged here, wouldn't I know? Wouldn't I feel it inside?
Our Lord called you when you were a little girl. Almost from the day you were born.
Oh, maybe it only seems that because I was raised at the Holy Name, because of an accident of time and place. How can I really know, Sister?
We mustn't talk about it now. I have much more interesting things to talk to you about.
What do you mean?
I didn't come here to wash your pretty little face. I came here to tell you some good news. We're going on a trip.
A trip?
Now, won't that be nice? Why, it's just what you need, I think. A nice little journey somewhere. And Reverend Mother wants to talk to you about it. That's what I came to tell you.
She wants to see me now?
Yes, child. Right now. Sister Pamela, have you ever heard of a man named William Michael Downey? He was a student at the Holy Name long before you were born.
No, Reverend Mother. I don't know.
Consider yourself fortunate.
Pardon?
Never mind. This man, Downey, and Sister Lydia were once very close. Her affection for the man is the wonder of my life.
I don't think I understand.
Well, he's just written her a letter. It asked for some representative of the Holy Name to pay him a visit, not on a spiritual errand. Well, I might as well tell you everything. The man is a known criminal.
Criminal?
He spent many years in prison, and far too many, I gather, out of it. His crimes have earned him a certain amount of material success, even a degree of false respectability. You know what I'm talking about, Sister.
I think so.
And I'm sending you and Sister Jem to see him. It's only a day's journey. Now, you'll have to take the train into the city. If you left tomorrow morning, you could return by Saturday or even Friday evening.
But, Reverend Mother...
I'm sure the trip will do you good, Sister. I know how peaked you've been lately.
May I speak, Reverend Mother?
Very well.
There's something I've been wanting to talk to you about. something about myself?
Please, sister, not now. This errand is a duty we owe Sister Lydia. As you know, the poor woman is dying.
Yes, I know, but
I'd send someone in your place, but you know the difficulties we've had with illness. Our students are suffering and our chores are neglected. Now, we can discuss any personal problems you have on your return.
Yes, Reverend Mother.
Sister Therese will give you your instructions about the journey. Don't be afraid of this man, Downey. Your strength is greater than his. And Sister Pamela, one more thing.
Yes?
Take good care of Sister Jem. She may not have your courage.
It must be 10 years since I've been at a railway station. It makes me dizzy. I think the exit is this way.
Well, now, don't walk so fast, Chuck. Did Sister Therese say it was very far to Mr. Downey's house?
Oh, not very far. She said we could reach it by bus or taxi.
Well, let's take a taxi, dear. I really am exhausted.
Oh, poor Sister Jem. This is a long trip for you.
Well, I don't mind. For Sister Lydia's sake. I'm glad Mr. Downey wrote her, aren't you?
I don't know. I've yet to hear anything good about Mr. Downey.
Why, there's something good in everyone, child. Did you hear the chimes? It sounds like the bell in our tower.
Oh, it's quite a grand house.
Well, so you're here.
Mr. Downey?
Yeah, I'm here. Come in, sisters.
I'm Sister Pamela, and this is Sister Jem from the Holy Name.
Yeah, I know where you're from, sisters. Come in, sit down.
Oh, thank you.
I am a bit tired.
Can I offer you something to drink, maybe? No, I mean, water or something.
Well, not for me, thank you.
No, thank you, Mr. Downey. We stopped off in a restaurant before we came here.
Yeah, fine. Well, how's Sister Lydia?
She's all right, but as you know, she was too ill to make this journey.
Yeah. She's a funny woman. It's 40 years since I left the Holy Name. She still writes to me. I got a card at Easter, a card at Christmas, a letter on my birthday. I got a hunch she even mentions me in her prayers.
You should be very glad.
Why? You think your prayers have helped me?
I do, yes.
Have all your prayers been successful, sister?
Your home is lovely. You must be a great admirer of religious
You
art.
haven't answered my question, sister.
Prayers aren't business deals, Mr. Downey. And you can't judge them as successes or failures.
It sounds like your prayers haven't been working out so good. But then you're new at the game, aren't you? I mean, you look very young, sister. How long have you been at the Holy Name?
I was a student there before taking my vows.
I see. It was a lot easier to join the order, wasn't it? Instead of going out and facing the cold, cruel world.
I'd rather not talk about me, Mr. Downey.
Look, I've been through it all myself, you know. In all my years, I never found a better hideout than the Holy Name. Yeah. The world's a noisy, messy place full of problems. Why ask for trouble if you can avoid it?
Please, Mr. Downey.
Okay, sister. Look, I'll get down to business.
Just what is your business, Mr. Downey?
Well, as you can see, sister, it's art. Religious art.
What?
Yeah. I got a present for Sister Lydia. Here it is.
Oh, Mr. Downey. It's St. Francis. Oh, how beautiful it is.
Here, if you open it. It's a little heavy, but it'll fit right into that suitcase here.
Oh, it looks very old.
Well, when I heard the old woman wasn't feeling well, I thought I'd like to send her something. It should look nice in the chapel, don't you think?
Oh, this is very kind of you, Mr. Downey.
Yeah, I would have preferred handing it to Sister Lydia myself, but I'll be I'll be blessed if I'll set foot in that gloomy old place myself again.
Yes. You would be blessed.
Hey, I see it.
Of course.
How old is it, Mr. Downey?
Oh, about 5 centuries.
What?
Mm-hmm. Comes from the Medici Palace. Sculpted by Donatello, you know him?
Donatello, of course. But it must be terribly valuable.
I think the word is priceless.
I don't know what to say. It's such a magnificent...
Well, you just tell Sister Lydia that little Willie Downey is sorry he never replied to her letters. He hopes this will make it up to her.
You know something? Sister Jem was right about you.
About what?
She said there was good in everyone. Let me carry the suitcase for a while, dear. It's so awfully heavy. No. It's all right. Now, are you sure about the train time? Well, maybe I'd better look at the schedule again. I just can't figure out all those tiny little numbers, even if I could see them without my glasses. Let's see. Sister Therese said there would be a train at 7:45. Oh, dear. Well, that's almost an hour from now. I'm sure there must be an earlier one. Yes, here it is. The next train's at 6:39, lower level. Oh, that's only 3 minutes from now. We'll have to hurry. Oh, dear. I hope we make it. All we can do is try.
Can I help you, sister?
What?
Hey, let me help you with that suitcase. It looks pretty heavy.
No, I think I can manage. Well, come to think of it. Yes, thank you. Would you?
Okay. You going to the lower level?
Yes. To the Barnwell train, 40. It leaves very soon, I'm afraid.
Don't worry. We'll make it.
Come along, Jim. Oh, thank heavens for that young man. Oh, I wish he wouldn't walk so fast. Oh, maybe this is a mistake. Sister, maybe we'd better wait for the 7:45. Please, it's just a little ways longer, Sister Jem. Can you see him? No, the crowds are so thick. He can make it. He must be waiting for us at the gate. There it is, gate 40. I don't see anyone. Perhaps he went on the train. For what? Why would he do that? I don't know. Why isn't he here? Charles, look. They're closing the gate. We've missed the train. Where's the young man? Why isn't he here? Oh, Sister Jem, he's not here. Where could he be? I don't know. You don't possibly think he... No. It can't be. He was just being polite. He wanted to help. Oh, child, why did you trust him? Why? He's got to be here, Sister Jem. He's just got to be here with the statue.
But the young man isn't there. And very soon, Sister Pamela and Sister Jem will draw the only possible conclusion. That this young man was not a Boy Scout looking for his good deed for the day. That he was the kind of young man who hangs around places like railroad terminals, looking for the good deal of the day. And it looks like he's managed to get one of the best deals of his life. We'll learn more when I return shortly with Act 2.
Hold it, kid.
Huh?
This is a stick-up.
Oh, please. I don't have any money.
Don't hand me that. This is payday for all you college kids who work at Hinklemeyer's. I seen you there.
Oh, but all I have is my paycheck.
That's okay. Hand it over.
Here.
You can keep the stub. Hey, wait a minute. How come they held out federal income tax?
Well, everyone has to pay income tax.
What's the matter with you, kid? Don't you know nothing? You do not have to pay no federal income tax unless you earn more than $2,050.
Oh, but they still have to withhold tax from my pay.
Look, kid, all you have to do is give your boss an IRS form, W4E, instead of the usual W4. And he is then not required to withhold any federal income tax from your pay. And you will not have to file no tax return to get it back.
Really? Hey, I didn't know that. Thanks.
That's okay. I figure you could use the money.
This message presented on behalf of the Internal Revenue Service.
You can paint your home in the same muted earth tone colors our colonial ancestors used to paint theirs. Hi, Frank Lieber here to tell you about True Value Hardware Store's True Test Supreme Latex House Paint. It comes in 24 Jamestown colors, like salmon gold, Chelsea blue, and Samoset gray. The colonials used dyes from roots and barks and mixed them with buttermilk of all things to achieve those colors. True Test Supreme Latex House Paint puts those same kind of colors into a rich, easy-to-apply latex. Latex, with the durability of a fine oil-based paint. It covers most surfaces in one coat. It resists stains, mildew, blistering, and smog. And it dries quickly in just 30 minutes. Painting tools clean up in soap and water. True Value Hardware Stores have True Test Supreme Latex House Paint in 24 earth tone Jamestown colors and white. True Test Supreme Latex House Paint. You'll find it exclusively at your nearby participating True Value Hardware Store.
Even the bells of the Holy Name Convent have a sad and hollow sound today as Sister Pamela sits with head bowed before the Reverend Mother and listens to a different kind of litany from her lips.
Are you a child, an infant? God gave you a brain. Do you think your vows excused you from having common sense, did you?
No, Reverend Mother.
You were given a trust, sister. A sacred trust. No matter how wicked that man Downey is, his gift was an offer of repentance. I won't even speak of its material value.
Please, Reverend Mother, I've said how sorry I am.
Yes, I know you want forgiveness. That would be simple for both of us, wouldn't it? All right, Sister Pamela. You have my forgiveness.
Thank you.
Only, what shall I give Sister Lydia? Our sincere regrets. Do you know what that statue would have meant to her? To hold it in her hands, to know who gave it? Can't you see it? It was more than a gift to the holy name. It was her reward for a lifetime of devotion and faith.
Well, perhaps the police will find it. I pray for that, Reverend Mother. It's all I pray for.
We're all praying, sister. All right. What happened at the police station?
Nothing, I'm afraid. They gave Sister Jem and me pictures to look at, pictures of men, criminals. We couldn't recognize the one in the terminal.
Oh. Well, that lieutenant who was here, what was his name?
Lieutenant Jacoby.
Did he hold out any hope?
Not very much.
No, of course he couldn't. The thief was clever. He was probably accustomed to preying upon the innocent. And don't be too proud of that innocence, child. It isn't synonymous with virtue. Well, what next?
Well, we're going back to the police headquarters this afternoon. They're going to have us look at some men, lineup, they call it.
All right then, sister. I won't keep you any longer. Didn't you hear me? You can go.
Reverend Mother, I wanted to say something.
Then, please, say it.
I wish to leave the order, Reverend Mother.
Oh, you can't know what you're saying.
I know, Reverend Mother.
Sister, you're not a child. You must not respond to trouble like a child.
I've thought about it. I've thought and prayed.
When a child is naughty, it thinks of running away from home. Your home is with God, sister. You cannot run away from Him.
I'm not running away from God. I wish to leave the order. I'm not suited, Reverend Mother. I've known that for some time. Mr. Downey was right about me.
Mr. Downey? Why would anything that man said affect you?
He said, some people retreat to God, advance towards Him. Well, that's what I've done. I've hidden myself from the world for the wrong reasons.
Is that so bad? Sister Pamela. Sometimes we do the right things for the wrong reasons.
I haven't been honest. Not with myself, not with you, and not with God. What happened in that terminal was like a punishment.
No,
If you had sent someone else, the statue would be here by now in the chapel, I know.
Well, it may yet be. We can't know the future.
I have to leave. There's no other way. I must.
All right, sisters. Be sure and look them over carefully. All the men you'll see on that stage have worked the same kind of crime in the past. Helping women with their luggage and then helping themselves to the contents.
Lieutenant Jacoby, do you think the man knows what he stole? Its true value?
Oh, doubtful. His ignorance may work in our favor, so we're keeping the facts quiet. If he knew he had a statue worth a fortune, he'd make himself harder to find.
But it has no price. It's an art treasure. He couldn't really sell it, could he?
There are crooks and crooks these days, sister. There are collectors who don't mind stolen merchandise, even if they can't display it openly. Just the same, we're assuming the thief won't know it's anything but a hunk of bronze. Who knows? Maybe he'll think it's a lamp. Well, we ready? Here come the boys.
Lieutenant, they can't see us, can they?
No, sister, but you'll see them, all right. All right, number one, step forward.
He isn't the one, I'm sure.
Step back into place, number one. Number two.
No, he's much older than the man.
Do any of them look right, sister?
Well, let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait. That one at the end.
Have we hit the jackpot?
I'm not sure. I didn't see him for more than a second or two, but he's the same age and size.
Number 6, front and center. Look at him again, sister.
I'm just not sure.
What's your name, mister?
James K. Bresson. What can I do for you?
I'll ask the questions. What are you doing with yourself these days, Bresson? Still working the terminals?
Oh, you got me all wrong, mister. I'm duly employed.
Who would employ you, Bresson?
I work for the Gramercy Printing Company over on 29th Street in the shipping department.
Not snatching any more suitcases?
I never snatched any suitcase. That last time was a bum rap.
Well, what do you think?
The voice. The voice sounds like him. Sister Jen, I never heard the voice.
You ever go to church, Bresson?
Yeah, how's that?
You ever do much business with nuns?
What is this? You trying to convert me?
He could be the one. Sister Jen. No, I don't think so, child. Now, I remember a much taller man, a much thinner.
Bresson, you were hanging around the Union Terminal on Friday night, weren't you?
Friday?
Say around 6:30?
No, Friday night I was with my girl. You don't believe me? Ask her. I was at her apartment, 5 o'clock to midnight.
What's the name of your girl?
Her name's Bess Mackin. She lives at 200 Rice Avenue. I never left her for a minute.
You see, child, he couldn't be the one.
Don't let an alibi fool you.
I'm sure he's not the one, Sister Pamela. Now, let's not make things worse by accusing an innocent man. No. I don't want to make things worse.
Well, sister?
No. I guess I'm not sure after all, Lieutenant. I'm not sure about anything. I wish you wouldn't do this, Sister Pamela. I just know it's a mistake. I can't help it, Sister Jem. I have to go. I can't even recognize you, child. I've forgotten how you look in ordinary clothes. Yes. They are ordinary, Sister Jen. And maybe I am, too. Have you said goodbye to everyone? Yes. I've just seen Sister Lydia. She was very weak, but she still managed to ask me that question. What question was that? About the statue of St. Francis. She asked if it had been recovered yet.
Oh, dear. Then you know that they haven't told her it was stolen. Only that it was misplaced.
Yes. She still thinks they'll find it. She still believes that she'll see it before she dies.
Yes?
Mrs. Gunderson?
Yes?
I was told you had a room to rent.
Well, maybe I do, maybe I don't. You all alone?
Yes, ma'am. My name is Pamela Wiley.
Well, I don't know. People have to be real careful these days.
It was Father McKinney at St. Mary's who recommended your place.
Oh, well, why didn't you say so? I've got a nice room on the second floor. $14 a week, and it includes breakfast and supper. You go out to work?
I will be.
Whereabouts?
I work at a company nearby.
Uh-huh. Do you work there long?
Well, I haven't started yet. I just went for a job interview this morning, and I start work on Monday.
Ah. What kind of a place is it?
It's a printing company. It's called the Gramercy Printing Company on 29th Street.
Hey, who's got the Fisher invoices? Come on, I need all them packing slips. Well, what happened to Bucktooth Betty?
I'm sorry?
The girl who used to work here. She get canned or something?
Oh, I really wouldn't know.
Oh, you're her replacement, is that it? Oh, I gotta tell you, honey, you're some improvement.
I suppose that's a compliment?
Let me give you a tip about this place. Now, don't be an eager beaver. Nobody likes a hard worker. They spoil it for the rest of us. My name's Jimmy Presson. What's yours?
Pamela Wiley.
Well, give me a hand, honey.
What?
Yeah. Oh! Now, don't worry. I'm not going to hurt you. Just looking for the evidence. Wedding rings, engagement rings, and so forth. Now, everything checks out okay. And I mean everything.
May I have my hand back, please?
Listen, you live in town? And not in the sticks or anything like that.
I live in the city, yes.
Well, maybe we could take in a movie tonight.
I'm sorry, I'm busy tonight. I'm busy most nights.
Look, if you're afraid to go out with me alone, I mean, if you've been hearing things from some of the chicks around here...
Oh, no, I haven't heard anything.
Well, I'll tell you what, there's going to be a little party on Friday night. Just a few friends of mine. Some of them from the company. How about joining us?
Well, I don't know if I can.
Well, make an effort, okay? I'll give you the address. It's 200 Rice Avenue, apartment 4C. 4C. The name is Bess Mackin.
Bess Mackin.
Yeah, come around 9, okay?
Yes, I'll try.
Hey, honey, I'm sure glad you could make it. You're just what this party needs, baby. A new face, and a real pretty one, too.
I don't know if I can stay very long.
Oh, sure you can, honey. You can stay close to old Jimmy. I want to find out if it's true what they call you at the office.
Oh? What do they call me?
The Saint. Now, didn't you know? Saint Pamela. I don't mind that, honey. Saints are okay. They have a way of turning into sinners.
Please, if you don't mind, I'm awfully warm.
Well, that's what I'm trying to do, baby. Warm you up.
Please take your hand away.
Come on, Saint Pamela. I know what you need. You need some fun and games, and I'm the guy who knows all the rules.
Don't stop it! Stop. There you are.
Well, hi, you best, honey. Hey, I want you to meet somebody. I want you to meet Saint Pamela. Saint, this is my good friend, Bess Mackin.
You bum. I saw what you were doing.
Oh, just getting acquainted, that's all. Getting to know what a saint is like.
Get out of here. This is my place, and I want you out of it.
Oh, please, I didn't mean to cause any trouble. I'll leave.
No, it's him I want out of here. Did you hear me, Jimmy? Get out.
Sure, Bess, sure. I'm going. I'll be over at the Silver Crown if you get lonely for me.
Oh, that bum. That miserable bum. I don't know why all the men I meet are bums. I just don't understand.
Oh, Bess, please, don't drink anymore. It's not helping.
Oh, nothing helps. Nothing. You know what life is, honey? I'll tell you what it is. It's like one of those
wrapped boxes under the Christmas tree in the department store. Just a fancy package. And nothing in it.
Yes. May I talk to you?
Me?
Well, the reason I stayed is I wanted to ask you about yourself.
Why would you care about me?
Are you alone? Do you have any family?
My mother's...
And your father?
That bum. He ought to be.
Yes. Do you ever go to church?
Me? Of course not.
Even when you were a little girl?
Oh, sure, when I was a kid. Oh, that Jimmy, that dirty stinker. Why do I do it? Why do I put up with it?
Well, does he treat you badly?
Oh, he doesn't treat me, period. You think he ever takes me anyplace? If we go to a bar, who do you think buys the drinks? He says that's his idea of women's lib.
Well, why do you do it then? Put up with him.
He gave me one present in my whole life. One lousy present. This piece of junk.
It's a pretty bracelet.
No, it's junk. I know where he got it. At that pawn shop around the corner from that cheap crook Wormer.
A pawn shop?
I bet he didn't even pay for it. I bet him and Wormer had a poker game.
Does he go there often?
Oh, he gets everything there except groceries.
And does he ever sell things there?
Oh, sure he does. Buy and sell every week. What do you want to know that for?
Well, I was just interested, Beth. Just very interested.
Well, Pamela Wiley, formerly Sister Pamela, seems to be on a crusade of her own. And like the crusaders before her, her goal is a sacred object. But the crusaders of the past had much trouble before they even reached their goal. Will Pamela? We'll find out when I return with Act 3.
When you drink beer, do you tilt the glass for long, hearty swallows? Or just tip it and sip it? Well, sipping's the thing for wine. But Budweiser beer is a hearty drink, brewed for zest and character. The best way to enjoy Bud is to drink it. Not chug a lug, just man-sized beer drinker swallows. That's when that famous Budweiser taste, smoothness, and drinkability really come through. Smoothness and drinkability that come only from natural carbonation and exclusive beechwood aging. Smoothness and drinkability, too good for any half-hearted sipping. So drink up. You'll see that brewing beer right does make a difference. And that when you say Budweiser, you said it all. Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis.
You're doing more. We're doing more. The Dallas Times Herald
proves it by winning 39 awards for journalism excellence, many more than the news. One reason why we've just surpassed the news in total Sunday circulation. Of course, we've always led in Dallas and Dallas County circulation. But now the hare has finally beat the tortoise on Sunday everywhere.
Pamela Wiley is taking one of the longest walks of her life. It's only a few blocks long, but her destination is the doorway of Wormer's Pawn Shop, just around the corner from 200 Rice Avenue. She pauses at the window, so covered in dust and grime that she cannot even see her reflection in the glass. It's just as well, because if she did, she would have seen the reflection of a very tense and frightened young lady.
Wanna buy?
What?
You here to huck something or buy something, miss?
Oh, buy.
Only reason I ask, it's a little early. I don't like to make appraisals this early, you know. I'm still half asleep.
Oh, yes, I understand. Of course, I don't know if you have what I want. I'm looking for something ornamental for my apartment.
Well, like what?
I don't really know. Perhaps an interesting lamp or something.
Sorry.
I don't carry lamps.
Oh, well, some interesting... Oh, an antique, maybe.
Well, that's the antique store you want, lady. This is a pawn shop.
Well, do you have any religious objects?
I got rosaries, jewelry, some pictures. You tell me what you want. I'll look for it.
I'm not really sure. Maybe some sculpture would be nice.
Sculpture? You mean like a statue?
Yes. Oh, yes, that would be perfect. Do you have any religious statues, small ones?
I'll go check in the back. You wait here. Sorry I had to keep you waiting. I think I got a nice statue of St. Francis.
St. Francis?
Yeah, the one with the birds. Come to think of it, it should be right over here. Yeah. Here it is.
Oh.
This the kind of thing you mean?
Oh, yes. Oh, it is the kind of thing.
It's a little beat up looking, but you could polish it up real nice. It wouldn't look bad at all.
Oh, yes, I wouldldn't mind that.
It's a real fine piece of work, you know. Don't think it's just junk.
Oh, no.
It ain't cheap either.
How much?
Well, on account of it's my first sale today, I'll tell you what. It's yours for $20.
Well, it's a little more than I thought.
Take it or leave it.
Oh, it's all right. I'll take it. I think I have a $20 bill in my purse.
Here. I'll help you with that.
What are you doing?
Help you find that 20 in your purse.
You're spilling everything out.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm seeing what spills out, you know.
Give it back to me.
All I want to do is check, miss. In my business, we like to know who we're dealing with.
Jimmy.
You got here fast.
I didn't have time to button my shirt. All right, what did you find?
Well, what is this?
Nothing in her purse. No gun, no identification. You sure she's a cop?
I don't know, but she's been acting like a cop, all right. That's why I told you to call me if she showed up. All right, what about it, honey? You want to tell Jimmy all about it?
Please, I just came in to buy something.
You were pumping Bess after the party. She told me about it last night when she came to the Silver Crown.
But I'm not with the police, I swear it.
And why all the questions, huh? Why all the nosing around?
You're hurting me.
Take it easy. I don't want no trouble in here.
She's something. She's got to be. Bess told her I do business in your place, and now she shows up here the next morning. Don't that sound fishy to you?
Well, it's funny.
Come on, baby.
Jimmy, don't. I was just the statue. Oh, I just wanted the statue.
The what?
I guess she needs this thing.
What's the statue got to do with... Wait a minute. Wait. You're right, Wormer. She's not a cop. Yeah, she's been acting like a cop, but that's not what she is.
Please. Oh, please let me go. I didn't mean any harm. Please let me go.
No,
Please.
Sugar, you're not a cop at all. What you are is a nun.
Are you nuts?
It was in her suitcase. I snatched it from her at Union Station. Only what's she doing here?
Listen, I'm not a nun anymore. I left the order over a month ago. I had to find the statue, don't you see? It was a gift to the convent, and it meant so much to the...
I told you it was bad luck robbing a nun.
Shut up.
I didn't come here to get you into trouble. I didn't want anything but the statue. I swear it. I swear
Oh, you went
it.
to a lot of trouble, too, didn't you? You took that job at Gramercy just to get next to me.
Yes, that's true.
And you beat that. You ever hear anything like that, woman? Let me see that statue.
Yeah.
It's valuable, Jimmy, but only to the church, only for its meaning. That's all.
Valuable?
Spiritual, I mean. It's not gold or anything, Jimmy. I swear it. Please, it's only bronze.
She's right, Jimmy. I know gold. When I see it, it's a piece of junk. Give her the thing. Let her go.
You jerk. You believe that junk about spiritual value? This thing is old. Yeah, I should have seen it before. It's maybe hundreds of years old.
So what?
It may be worth a fortune.
Huh? Hey, you know, you could be right. Some of this religious stuff runs into thousands.
Yeah, maybe we could make a deal with some art collector. Yeah, we could handle it through Mike the broker. He'll know what it's worth.
You want to bring Mike in on this?
Why not? It's his specialty.
But what about the girl?
That depends.
Please, Jimmy. You don't have to sell it. I'll pay whatever you ask.
Well, how much, honey? Think you can scrape up a couple of grand?
If you'll give me time.
Now, you see what I mean? It is worth plenty. You take the sister in the back room, Wormer, and we'll call Mike. We'll tell him to come to us.
He won't do it.
He'll come when he hears what we have.
What happens if we make a deal? What about her?
If the deal is good enough.
Come in. Welcome. I'm E.G. Marshall. You've come to the right place. Here we present a unique kind of drama. Drama that uses your ears to stimulate your fears. The story you are about to hear concerns another part of the human anatomy. It's a tale about a very frightening pair of hands. Not because they're ugly or mutilated, or because they do evil things. On the contrary, the hands of our heroine do nothing at all. And therein lies her terror. But there's one other subject our story deals with, and it's the most mysterious of all, the human mind. Our mystery drama, The Hands of Mrs. Mallory, was written especially for the Mystery Theater by Henry Slessor and stars Celeste Holm. It is sponsored in part by Anheuser-Busch Incorporated, Brewers of Budweiser, and Buick Motor Division. I'll be back shortly with Act One.
Some research experts say you can't taste the difference between beers. Well, if they're right, then Anheuser-Busch wastes a barrel of time Beechwood aging Budweiser. Only they don't think so. Brewing beer right does make a difference. And they're betting a bundle that you can taste the difference in Bud. When it comes to brewing Budweiser, the Anheuser-Busch choice is to go all the way because they still care about quality. Look at it this way. If the Bud people have a choice between what some experts say and what beer drinkers say, well, you'd better believe they'll go with you beer drinkers every time. When you say Budweiser, you've said it all. Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis.
Hey, Mom, what's for dinner? Hey, Mom, what you got?
What's for dinner? ShopRite suggests lean, savory smoked ham. Shank portion just 69 cents a pound. Butt portion 79 a pound. Choice grade first cut chuck steak 69 cents a pound. Penn Dutch noodles pound package 49 cents. Crown top white bread just 39 cents for a 22-ounce loaf. For a quick meal, serve Banquet frozen 10-ounce dinners. All varieties except beef or ham are just 39 cents. Check the store-wide values at ShopRite. You'll find a lot more for a little less.
She loves the family. She wants the best. She does all that she can do. She lets ShopRite do the rest. Hey, Ma, what's for dinner? ShopRite has the answer.
Think of the most beautiful day you can imagine. A day so perfect that the birds are singing its praises. And even the people who line the park benches, those roosting creatures who seem to exist in a vacuum without emotion, seem happy and contented today. But there's one exception. A lady of middle years who sits alone on a bench. Is it her glum expression that has driven away other people? Or perhaps it's the obvious elegance of her mink stole and the glistening perfection of the diamond on her finger.
Hey, lady, is this seat taken?
No.
Is it okay if I sit here and wait for my brother? He's playing in the ball game.
How nice.
He plays first base. Hey, you want to see my baseball?
Not especially.
It's got Reggie Jackson's autograph on it. Here, look at it.
No, please, I really don't know.
What's the matter with your hands?
Nothing. They're just a little stiff, that's all. Now, why don't you go watch your brother play?
Well, he says I jinx him. Gee, your hands look funny. I mean, can't you move them at all?
No. As a matter of fact, I can't.
Gee, that's funny. I never saw anything like that. How come you can't move your hands?
It's a kind of a sickness. You wouldn't understand.
But maybe if you explained it to me, I would.
Yes. If I could explain it to you, son, I would be very happy to do so. You don't know how happy.
Come in, Ida. Have a seat.
I always feel so guilty when I take your time. Each examination seems to produce exactly the same result.
Well, that's no reason not to keep examining you.
Then there isn't any change.
No, Ida. No change. What have you been doing lately?
Well, I've been sitting in the park a lot.
I see.
It's a bit ridiculous, isn't it? I have this glamorous terrace. I could sit there like a queen and view the whole park and all the people in it. But I prefer to sit on a bench and watch the squirrels and listen to the children.
Oh, I think that's a good thing, frankly. To be on the ground, in touch with things.
Herbert never believed in that. Herbert liked to get away from the smell of the crowd. Yes, that was the phrase he always used, the smell of the crowd. My husband knew a great number of unkind phrases.
Well, I never knew him, of course.
No. Neither did I suppose. Even when he was lying in his coffin, I felt as though I was saying goodbye to a stranger.
And after Mr. Mallory died, how soon after that did the paralysis set in?
Oh, it was about a month. Yes, a month after, I suppose.
That soon?
Yes.
And now it's been how long since you haven't been able to move your hands?
5 years. Can you believe it, Doctor? I can't. After the first 6 months of this terrible paralysis, I thought I couldn't go on living with these stone fingers of mine. I thought it would be preferable to be...
But you never lost hope of a cure.
No. I mean, that's what's kept me going. The hope of a cure. Oh, and something else. I suppose one must say a kind word for money. If there was one thing Herbert did in his life, he managed to leave a very rich widow behind him.
Ida, I hope you won't misunderstand what I'm going to say.
Doctor, you don't have to say it. I know what comes next. You're going to advise me to get out of myself, to stop thinking about my poor hands and think about other people. Charity work.
Well, Ida, that's one suggestion. But...
Oh, if you knew how many charity committees use my name, or how many thousands of dollars I give to every foundation with an impressive name.
Ida, I was going to talk about going back to that psychiatrist.
Oh, that.
I honestly think you gave up too soon. If you'd given the man a chance...
Dr. Merritt, my hands are paralyzed. I'm not imagining it. They're paralyzed, frozen, insensitive. You've made all the tests yourself. Do you think I've been faking?
No, of course not. The illness is genuine, but sometimes the origin of an illness of this nature can...
It's all in the mind, yes, of course. All in the mind. So easy to say that, isn't it? So many doctors have told me the same thing. It's so much easier to blame my mind than their own failure.
Ida, please.
Doctor, excuse me. It's time for me to go. You've got lots of patients waiting for you. Some of them you might even help.
Hey, hi.
Oh, it's you again. Waiting for your brother?
Nah, he's not playing today.
Oh, that's too bad. It's a lovely day.
He broke his leg.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Hey, is that what happened to your hands? I mean, did they get broken?
Something like that.
Well, do you feel anything at all? I mean, like your fingers?
You're a very curious boy. Did anyone ever tell you that?
Can I just touch him, lady? Please?
No, please don't.
Hey, you kid. Now cut that out.
Well,
Stop bothering this lady, you hear me?
I wasn't bothering her.
All right, now go on, get out of here, leave her alone.
Okay. I just wanted to touch her hand.
I'm sorry, ma'am. I just couldn't help overhearing.
Thank you. He was getting a little too bothersome, although I'm sure he didn't mean any harm.
Well, I could see that you were getting annoyed.
Ted?
Oh, yes, I'm over here, Melinda.
On your hand, huh?
I can't manage 2 hot dogs and a bag of peanuts and 2 crutches at the same time.
Oh, sure, honey. I'm sorry. Excuse me, ma'am.
Oh, this one's yours, with the mustard.
Thanks.
Do you think I could sit down?
Of course.
Ted, would you grab that crutch?
Yeah, I got it. Listen, I told you that I'd get the hot dogs. I mean, you didn't have to be quite so independent.
That's funny. You're always complaining that I'm not independent enough. Oh, am I crowding you, ma'am?
Oh, no. Plenty of room.
Ted, who was that boy I saw running off?
Oh, I drove him off. He was bothering this woman.
Oh, dear. Oh, are you all right?
Oh, yes, I'm fine. As a matter of fact, he was telling me about his brother's accident. He hurt his foot. I guess this must be the season for accidents.
You mean these crutches? I'm afraid that was another season.
Hey, gee, it's warm, isn't it? Huh? For this time of year?
Of course, you're warm. Saving fair damsels and all that stuff. I didn't know you were a regular St. George, Ted.
Yeah, sure I am, with kid dragons. Would you like some peanuts, ma'am? We've been trying to give them away to the squirrels all day, but we haven't seen any.
No, thank you. I don't like peanuts very much. I can't imagine what squirrels see in them.
Don't worry. My brother will happily eat them all by himself.
Your brother?
I'm Melinda West. This is my brother, Ted.
And my name is Mrs. Mallory.
How do you do?
Haven't I seen you two here before?
Oh, you probably have. We live close to the park. Are you from around here, Mrs. Mallory?
Oh, yes. I live in that building right there.
Oh.
What a view you must have. Can you see the park from your window?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, if I had a window like that, I'd never come down to the park. Well, of course, these crutches sort of discourage you walking around very much.
Do you both live in the city?
No, we're from Ohio. We've only been here about 2 months, but I guess we'll be going back soon.
Don't say that. Don't even think that, Ted, please.
I'm sorry, Melinda. I didn't mean to...
I gather that you don't want to leave.
Not if it means that... Well, the truth is we came here to see a doctor, a surgeon who specializes in cases like mine. You see, I was in an automobile accident 2 years ago. I haven't walked since.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I know exactly how you must feel.
Well, people always think they do, but they really can't.
Melinda.
What?
I think your brother is trying to signal you, Melinda, about me.
What do you mean?
He means these. My hands.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't even realize.
No, some people don't realize I can't move them. See, as long as I sit here very quietly, my whole body is as immobilized as my hands.
Yes. Now I know what you mean. I know how tempting it is to just want to sit, be a statue, so that for a little while you can forget that part of you is...
Oh, come on, Melinda, please. Let's cut this out, huh?
Please, tell me more about this surgeon.
I can tell you what he said in one word. 1 2-letter word.
Oh, dear. He won't operate, then?
He said it wouldn't do any good.
He turned us down flat. That's why I want Melinda to let me take her back home.
Oh, well, do you have parents there?
No, we have no one. But I don't want to go back. I don't. I want to see...
What were you going to say?
Never mind, Mrs. Mallory. Now, come on, Melinda. You finished your hot dog. Let's go home.
Ted, let me tell her. Let me ask her.
For Pete's sake, what kind of nonsense is this? What do you want to bother the woman for?
Because there's no one else I can talk to about Dr. Griff. I can't talk to you about him. You just get red in the face and stomp away from me.
There's nothing to talk about, and I'm sure Mrs. Mallory isn't interested in fairy stories.
I really don't know what either one of you is talking about. Who is Dr. Griff?
Oh, he's a quack, a phony.
Ted.
Well, that's all he is. A 2-bit faith healer who robs every cripple he can get his hands on.
You don't know anything about him. You only met him once.
Yeah, well, that was enough. I could tell in 1 second that the man is a fake. He can't cure a broken spine.
But why not let him try? Somebody has to try. I don't want to be the way I am. Oh, Mrs. Mallory, I don't want to be this way. Help me. Help me, please.
Well, Mrs. Mallory's physician would be very pleased right now. At last, his patient seems to be taking his advice to interest herself in the outside world, in problems other than her own. But how involved will those problems become? We'll wait to find out until I return shortly with Act 2.
Excuse me, madam.
Oh, I'm in an awful hurry.
I just wonder if you could answer a simple question for me.
So do I.
The question is this. What happens this time of year?
Oh, that's easy. The kids get home from camp. Goodbye.
Nope.
What do you mean, nope?
Nope.
I mean, I should know when my kids get home from camp.
Well, the answer I had in mind was a tad more general in scope.
Well, I gave my answer. Let's hear yours.
You know, I'm glad you asked.
Are you?
You see, what happens this time of year is that Buick dealers are giving particularly great deals on all their 74 Buicks. For a family woman such as yourself, I think a neat little Apollo would be just the ticket. It's small, economical, but surprisingly roomy. And it's a Buick, so it's really quite elegant.
You don't say.
Uh-huh. Now, isn't that good news?
Yes.
I mean, that you can get such a nifty deal on such a nifty small car.
To be sure it is, yes.
To be sure. By the way, where do your kids go to camp?
Guam. It's a small island in the South Pacific.
Guam.
There's a very special deal going on at all offices of Suburban Savings throughout North Jersey. It's called Suburban Special Interest Deal, and you'll be especially interested in the savings you get. A top 7.90% effective annual yield on Suburban's limited issue 7.50% savings certificate, and Suburban guarantees it from 4 to 10 years. Minimum deposit $2,500. Early withdrawal prior to maturity is subject to a substantial penalty. Suburban compounds interest continuously from day of deposit paid quarterly. So you not only get interest on your savings, you get interest on the interest. And Suburban offers you the highest interest rate allowed by law. Here's your chance to get a great savings deal. A top 7.90% effective annual yield on Suburban's limited issue 7.50% savings certificate. Why not deal yourself into Suburban Savings Special Interest Deal at any Suburban Savings office in northern New Jersey?
Located in Bayonne, Edgewater, Elmwood Park, Emerson, Hackettstown, Morris Plains, Nutley, Paramus, Sparta, and Wayne.
The good weather is holding in the city, and Mrs. Ida Mallory has returned day after day to her bench in the park. A bench which seems to have become her property by right of eminent domain. But even Mrs. Mallory would have to admit that her interest in these daily visits is no longer restricted to sunshine and green grass. Each day she hopes for another glimpse of the young couple, the scowling brother and his pretty, pathetic sister. And then, on the fourth day, there they were.
Excuse me. I don't know if you'll remember me.
Why, of course. You're Mrs. Mallory, the lady with the view.
Yes, that's right. How are you both?
Oh, we're okay.
Well, I really didn't mean to interrupt your conversation.
Oh, don't be concerned about the way Ted looks. His face always is like a thundercloud, especially when we discuss the forbidden topic.
I suppose you mean that doctor.
Yeah, she talked me into seeing him again. You know something? Every feeling I had about him the first time was confirmed.
That's really impossible, Mrs. Mallory.
Tell me something. Is he a real doctor?
Well, I'm not sure he's a medical doctor, Mrs. Mallory, but I'm sure he's entitled to the degree. Maybe a doctor of psychology, or something like that.
I'll tell you what he's entitled to. A good swift kick in
But
the...
I'll tell you one thing about Dr. Griff. He's the only one who said he could help me.
He didn't promise. He just said he was hopeful.
Well, that's something anyway.
Yeah, I'll tell you what he's hopeful about, getting your $500.
He says he's very hopeful I can be cured. And that's worth a great deal more than $500.
All right, go on. Tell her the rest. Tell her the real clincher. Or you're afraid to.
What do you mean?
Mrs. Mallory, you're an intelligent woman. So listen to how Dr. Griff plans to cure my sister.
I know it sounds sort of melodramatic.
Oh, it's idiotic. That's what it is.
Please, I'd still like to know.
Well, he says he uses something called the water of faith.
See what I mean?
The water of faith? Sounds sort of, religious. Like, the holy water at Lourdes.
It's related to that, yes.
Oh, now do you see why I say the guy is an out-and-out fraud? The water of faith. Where are we? Back in the Middle Ages?
Well, I must admit it does sound sort of odd.
Just the same. He said that it works. That it's worked for dozens of people. He wants $500 for the treatment.
With no guarantees, you understand. Oh, Mrs. Mallory, will you help me, please? Will you talk some sense to this woman?
Oh, my dear. I mean, I have to admit it really doesn't sound reasonable.
You mean the $500? Oh, but it's a very special treatment, Dr. Griff said.
Well, I meant it's not reasonable to assume that such things can do any good.
I see. So I'll never know. Is that it? I'll just turn around and take a plane back to Ohio and live out the rest of my life as a cripple. When for $500, at least I might have had a chance to get it.
Yes, I see what you mean. Ted. Oh, I hope you don't mind my calling you Ted.
Oh, no, of course not.
Your sister, well, she may have a point there. I mean, even if it is a waste of money, perhaps she'll never be happy unless you let this man try. If not, she'll always wonder about it. Always.
Yes, I know that. That's what his whole bag is, making you wonder if it just might work.
And, well, about the money, I don't know how to say this, but you see, $500 may seem like a lot to you, but it isn't to me. So if I can help you.
Oh, no, please, absolutely not.
It's not really a problem, Mrs. Mallory. We've got the money.
Besides, it's not the money so much as, well, seeing Melinda disappointed again.
I've had so many disappointments, you see.
Yes. Yes, I know all about such things.
Oh, dear. Yes, of course you do. Oh, you see what a selfish person I've become. I keep forgetting that you have your own affliction. I'm not sure that it isn't even worse than mine. To lose the use of your hands.
Well, never mind about me. What are you two going to do?
Oh, I don't. It looks like I'm outnumbered on this thing.
Ted, does that mean you'll let me do it? You'll let me?
Well, if you go back without trying this dumb water of faith, you'll always regret it. So, okay, let's get it over with.
Oh, Mrs. Mallory. Oh, thank you. You're the one who did it.
Oh, my dear. I just hope your miracle happens. All my life, I wanted to believe that miracles happen. Melinda? Wait a minute.
Oh, Mrs. Mallory.
Well, you move faster on those crutches than I do on my 2 feet. You're not here alone, are you?
No, Ted's with me. I just wanted to take a little stroll by myself. No, that isn't true. We just had another fight, and I had to get away from him.
Oh, dear. Now, that doesn't sound too good.
Well, you know how Ted is.
Well, see, I haven't seen you for 2 days. How are you?
The truth is, I don't really know. But I started treatments, Mrs. Mallory.
With Dr. Griff?
Yes. I started about 5 days ago. And it's nothing at all like what I expected.
Well, tell me about it.
Well, you remember how silly it all sounded, this water of faith business.
Well, it sounded a little theatrical.
But it isn't. It's scientific, Mrs. Mallory. That's the most wonderful part of it. Dr. Griff only used that phrase as a convenient description of the drug.
What drug is that?
Well, maybe I shouldn't tell you this.
Why not?
Oh, I don't know. I have the feeling that there might be something slightly illegal about it. The drug he uses. A psychedelic suggestion.
Psychedelic suggestion? Now, what on earth is that?
It's the technique Dr. Griff uses. He uses it to liberate the mind from its control over the body whenever that control is negative.
I'm sorry. I really don't understand that kind of talk.
Well, I'm not saying I understand it myself completely.
But it does sound to me as if he believes that your illness is psychosomatic.
I don't know, Mrs. Mallory. All I know is that I have to go through with it. Kill or cure.
It isn't a dangerous treatment, is it?
No, I'm sure it isn't. It's more like a sort of a hypnosis. I go to his office, he administers the drug, and then he talks to me. And that's all there is to it.
And? Has it helped?
I think I'd better go back to Ted. He's probably getting worried about me.
Melinda, please tell me if... Melinda, look out! That bicycle! Melinda.
I'm sorry, miss. I'm sorry.
Melinda, are you all right?
Oh, here, let me help you up, miss.
Oh, you idiot. I mean, can't you see that girl is crippled? Quick, give me that crutch.
Oh, you sure?
Wait. I think I can manage to pick myself up this way.
Now, just take it easy.
Mrs. Mallory.
What is it? Are you hurt?
No, it's my leg. Did you see that? My leg bends slightly at the knee.
No, I didn't see
Look,
it.
miss, if you're sure you're okay.
Oh, get out of here. Go away and be more careful next time.
Ma'am.
Oh, Mrs. Mallory. I'm sure it happened. I saw it happen. My leg moved. For the first time in 2 years, it moved.
No, Ida, I'm sorry. I can't find any reference to this Dr. Griff in any medical directory.
But that doesn't prove he's a fraud, though, does it?
Oh, no, of course not. And as you say, the man may not be a medical doctor. I certainly hope he isn't.
Well, why do you say that?
Pride of profession, my dear. We don't like to have faith healers bearing the same credentials.
And that's what you think he is, a faith healer.
Well, of course. Oh, I'm not knocking the power of faith, far from it. Very often it's simply another way of getting at psychosomatic difficulties.
Oh, I hate that word.
I know you do.
Oh, I've been through all that psychosomatic nonsense. All those doctors who tried to tell me that my paralyzed hands weren't, well, what they are. But there's something in me, some emotional problem.
You didn't give them much chance to prove or disprove it, Ida.
I did. I submitted to their therapy, even if I didn't believe in it, and it didn't do the slightest bit of good.
Well, maybe if you had believed them, it would have.
Flesh is flesh, Doctor. Bone is bone. That kind of therapy can't make my hands move any more than it can make that poor girl walk. And I have a good mind to tell him so.
Please come in, Mrs. Mallory.
Thank you.
Won't you have a chair?
All right.
Well, do you mind if I ask who referred you to me?
Well, actually, it was one of your patients, Melinda West.
Yes, of course. A very charming young woman. Have you known her long?
Just a few weeks. See, I haven't seen her for the last 10 days or so. How is she coming along?
Well, actually, you'll get a chance to see her soon. She has a 3:00 appointment with me, which is only a few minutes from now. So, if you wouldn't mind telling me what's on your mind, Mrs. Mallory.
Well, I just thought it would be worthwhile talking to you, Doctor.
About yourself?
Well, as you can see, I am afflicted.
Do you mind if I look at your hands?
Yes, frankly, I'd rather you wouldn't. Not just now. I'd rather hear something about yourself, about this treatment of yours. Melinda said something about a technique you used called psychedelic suggestion. Now, just what is that?
It's a medical principle. As old as mesmerism, as new as chemotherapy. The power of mind over body.
Psychosomatics.
Well, who knows what afflictions is psychosomatic? Some illnesses start with the emotions, some with the body. And more often, it's a combination of both.
Really?
Germs aren't imaginary. Viruses are very real little creatures. Yet the mind has strange powers over them to make them hurt us or to render them harmless.
All right, then. What about a broken leg? Can the mind cause that?
Of course. If you use your head, you wouldn't break your leg in the first place.
Oh.
You're thinking of Miss West, of the fact that she suffered a spine injury.
That's right. I hardly see how you can correct something like that.
You've seen her x-rays, then?
No.
You believe the damage is neurological?
Well, I know nothing about it.
That's strange, Mrs. Mallory. You certainly seem to have an opinion. Be careful, though. You don't have a medical degree. Someone might call you a quack.
Listen, Doctor, I came here...
Oh, excuse me, Mrs. Mallory. Melinda. I'll be with you in just a minute. No, come to think of it, why don't you come in now? There's a friend of yours here.
A friend?
Oh, it's I, Melinda, Mrs. Mallory. Oh, Mrs. Mallory, how nice to see you.
Come in, Melinda, please.
Melinda, your crutches. Where are your crutches?
Look at me, Mrs. Mallory. I can walk without crutches now. I'm not very steady, but I can walk.
Well, there goes at least one of Mrs. Ida Mallory's cherished notions that the mind can't cure the body. But she sees the evidence of her own eyes, and something tells me that this is one prejudice she's willing to give up. After all, she wants to believe in miracles, and don't we all? Mrs. Ida Mallory has spent a sleepless night, dreaming of things she never thought possible. But when the sun streamed in her windows, her first thought was to get out into the park, and with only one hope, of seeing Melinda West again, and seeing her miracle confirmed.
It's true. It's really true, Mrs. Mallory. Even Ted has to admit it.
Well, I guess there's something to it, all right. I haven't seen my sister off those crutches in 2 years.
But how did it all happen?
I don't really know. As I told you, he used this drug. He made me go to sleep, and then he simply talked to me. At first, there was nothing, and then I started feeling life in my legs again. Well, you saw me that day in the park when I fell down.
Oh, Melinda. I just can't tell you how happy I am for you. Well, and what are your plans now?
Oh, go home, I guess. I've got to get back to my job if it's still there.
The treatment cost much more than we thought it would.
Yes, the 500 went in no time at all. Then he asked for another 1,000. He said it couldn't be helped.
The drug he uses is so horribly expensive.
Now, listen. I told you once that if there were any way I could help you out financially...
No, that's out, Mrs. Mallory. We'll manage okay.
Of course we will.
Well.
And I can go back to work now. I can do anything I want now.
Oh, yes. Yes, that must be a wonderful feeling. To be able to do anything you want.
Mrs. Mallory, please come in.
Thank you, Doctor. You know, it was really very good of you to see me on such short notice.
That's quite all right. Please sit down.
Thank you. Well, I don't quite know where to begin.
Well, suppose I begin for you. You've been thinking about Melinda West.
Yes, I saw her only this morning. She really is cured, isn't she?
Yes, Mrs. Mallory. In my opinion, the young woman was cured. But you realize that all I really cured by psychedelic suggestion was the illness that existed in her mind, not her body.
But I still don't fully comprehend it.
I'm sure there was no real neurological damage to the girl.
Oh.
I think her bones and muscles and nerves were all in the proper place and functioning normally. Only her mind wasn't.
But she seemed so sensible.
Mrs. Mallory, do you know the story of that accident?
I beg your pardon?
Did Melinda ever tell you exactly what occurred that caused her injuries?
No, as a matter of fact, she didn't. She simply said it was an automobile accident.
That's correct. And she was the driver.
Oh.
There were 2 other passengers, her mother and her father. Both of them were killed.
Oh, dear Lord.
She did sustain some injuries in the crash. But it was apparent to me that they were not sufficiently grave to cause her the total paralysis she suffered.
You mean she felt that guilty about what had happened?
Guilty enough to seek punishment for herself. And she did. She punished herself by losing the use of her legs.
And so your treatment was able to cure her?
Yes, I'm happy to say.
But of course it couldn't cure someone like me.
What was that?
I said it couldn't cure me. See, I didn't lose the use of my hands for any kind of reason like that. I mean, it's just some sort of nerve damage. Doctors could never explain it.
Well, if that's the diagnosis of your physician, that it's purely physical and incurable.
Oh, but I didn't say that. See, I mean, my doctor has never used the word incurable. I have been hoping for years that it would just heal itself. I can't go on living like this, so helpless and so useless.
Mrs. Mallory, have you come here to talk about Melinda West or yourself?
Myself. I want my hands back. Oh, dear God, I want my hands.
Yes, I was afraid that's what you had in mind.
Afraid? Why?
Because if you had any idea of becoming my patient, I regret to say that it's not possible.
But why not? I mean, you accepted her as a patient, and you cured her. I mean, you really did.
Unfortunately, Miss West is the last patient I can accept, at least in this part of the world.
Doctor, I don't understand. Do you have to go somewhere?
That's correct.
But where are you going?
Abroad. And my plans will keep me abroad for at least a year.
Oh, no. I mean, listen, if you're going to Europe, I was thinking of taking a trip there myself.
No, Mrs. Mallory, my destination isn't Europe. I'm going to North Africa. A case of some importance.
Well, since when is one patient more important than another?
Oh, no, I didn't mean it that way.
Oh.
It's simply that this is a prior commitment.
But maybe I could go with you. I mean, I could take up residence there.
I'm afraid that's impossible, too.
Why?
Well, the country I'm going to is a Muslim country. My patient is the son of, well, a notable Arab leader.
Well, why would that make any difference? What does it matter?
I'll be living within the bachelor section of the official residence. It's an area restricted by Muslim law. You wouldn't be allowed near the place, my dear lady, even if I were free to treat you. And I'm not.
But I have money. I'll pay you. I'll pay you anything you want to stay and treat me. I mean, I'll meet this Arab leader's offer.
Mrs. Mallory, the fee I'm about to receive, I wouldn't ask of any individual. I've been asked to remain with him for a period not to exceed 1 year.
A year?
For that year, in a Swiss bank, there will be deposited for me $150,000 in Swiss francs.
150,000?
I'm very sorry that you made me reveal that confidence. No, I trust that it goes no farther.
I'll pay you the same.
What?
You heard me. I'll pay you the same. I mean, not in a year's time, but as soon as you've cured me.
I'm sorry. Your offer is very generous, but it's also conditional.
What do you mean, conditional?
You will pay only for a cure. That's something I'd never guaranteed a patient. Not Miss West, not my Arab friend, no one at all.
All right, then. Suppose it isn't conditional. Suppose I agree to pay you in advance.
Well, that, of course, would be something worth consideration.
Well, hello, Dr. Merritt. This is certainly a surprise. I think it must be the first time that a doctor ever made a voluntary house call.
Well, I didn't come here to see you as a patient, Ida. Only as a friend.
Well, that's very kind of you.
Ever since I saw you last, I've been thinking over what you told me about this Dr. Griff.
Oh, yes. Well, what about him?
I thought it would be worthwhile just to ask around about the gentleman. And last week I was attending a joint conference of my medical association and psychological group.
Mm-hmm.
Well, anyway, I did learn something that I thought you might be interested in. There is no Dr. Griff.
What was that?
Oh, maybe he has a Ph.D. and tacked that in front of his name, but I'm quite sure that the man is not a medical doctor.
All right. Be that as it may, he's still not necessarily a fraud.
Well,
I didn't say he was anything. But I suspect that your original judgment was correct.
But...
That he's not someone to be trusted.
But you don't know the whole story.
Well, what I do know is you're more impressed with a man than you were willing to admit. Isn't that right?
Dr. Merritt, he cured that girl.
What?
You know that girl I told you about, the crippled girl? She's walking again. I saw her walk.
Well, I suppose that could be true. Faith healing does have its successes.
Well, I'm sorry, Doctor, but I'd rather not discuss this any further.
Oh, wait a minute. I don't like the way you sound. Ida, have you made any sort of arrangement with this charlatan?
Dr. Merritt, I appreciate your interest, but I refuse to say another word about this matter. I mean, do you understand? Not another word.
That's right, Mrs. Mallory. Just relax. Close your eyes and let the water of faith flow through your bloodstream. You can feel it tingling through your body, bringing you peace and tranquility, total peace and happiness. Do you feel it?
Yes. Yes, I feel it.
And now, I'm reaching out for your hand. Do you see me reaching out for you?
Yes. Yes, I see you.
And now... Oh, of all times. Who's that now? Yes, what do you want?
You Dr. Helmut Griff?
Yes, who are you?
The name's Barry, Doctor. Lieutenant Barry, Racket and Bunko Squad, Police Department. May I come in?
No, you can't. I happen to have a patient with me right now.
Would her name be Ida Mallory?
And who are you?
I'm her physician. You might say her accredited physician.
I demand to know what this intrusion is all
It's
about.
It's not an intrusion, Dr. Griff. It's an arrest.
What?
Doctor? Oh, Dr. Griff?
So, may we come in now?
Ida, are you all right?
Yes. Oh, what is it? I mean,
all
what's
right,
happening?
Ida. Everything's going to be fine. They've got them all now, all of them.
Well, what are you talking about?
Is this a lady, Doc?
Yes, this is Mrs. Mallory. I don't think she's in any condition to talk. He's obviously given her some kind of drug.
It's a legitimate drug, a perfectly legitimate sedative.
Yes, of course. Doctor, I'm sure it's nothing very unusual, Seconal or something of that nature. No mysterious water of faith.
Please, won't someone tell me what's going on?
Now, I'll tell you, Ida. But it may hurt just a little. You see, I told the police your story, and they investigated. He is a fraud, Ida.
How dare you say that?
Be quiet, mister. You're no more a doctor than I'm police commissioner.
His real name is Michael Lanning.
Alias Dr. George Watkins, alias Dr. John Wilson, and that's his modus operandi, Mrs. Mallory, posing as a fake doctor, offering miracle cures, usually for sick widows with lots of money.
Oh, but he cured her. I mean, he cured Melinda.
This is the part that may hurt most, Ida. He did not cure Melinda West. Because Melinda West was never crippled to begin with.
I know. It was just psychosomatic.
Oh, no, Ida. Just crooked.
What?
She was in on the racket with him, Mrs. Mallory. Her real name is Anna Fraser.
Oh.
Her so-called brother is Tony Fraser. And I'm sorry, they're not brother and sister at all. They're man and wife.
No, and I believed them.
Well, we haven't caught up with those two yet, Mrs. Mallory, but we will. Oh, I brought some pictures for you to identify.
No, I don't want to look at them. I can't bear to look at them.
Please, Ida, you must.
But I don't want to prosecute them. I don't.
Why
really.
not? They're crooks, plain and simple crooks, all three of them.
I don't care.
You have to help us now, Ida. You have to identify these parasites. Now, please, look at the photographs.
You know something, Doctor? Sometimes people set out to do good and end up doing harm. And sometimes it works the other way around.
What do you mean?
Pena, Hey, now, stop that. Now, don't rip up those photos.
Ida, what are you... What? Well, for the love of heaven, you're tearing up the pictures. You're tearing them up.
With my hands, Doctor. With my own hands.
Well, they say that it's an ill wind that doesn't blow someone some good. And in this case, it looks like 3 evil people have managed to be very good to Mrs. Ida Mallory, in spite of themselves. If there's a moral to this tale, I'd frankly hate to be the one to say it. No, we're not recommending that the best way to cure your ills is to fall into the hands of confidence men. Included Celeste Holm, Patricia Elliott, William Redfield, E.V. Juster, Arnold Moss, and Leon Janney. The entire production was under the direction of Hyman Brown. Radio Mystery Theater was sponsored in part by Buick Motor Division and Anheuser-Busch Incorporated, brewers of Bud. Bit suspicious, okay? Our cast included Celeste Holm, Patricia Elliott, William Redfield, E.V. Juster, Arnold Moss, and Leon Janney. The entire production was under the direction of Hyman Brown. Radio Mystery Theater was sponsored in part by Buick Motor Division and Anheuser-Busch Incorporated, brewers of Budweiser.
This is E.G. Marshall inviting you to return to our Mystery Theater for another adventure in the macabre. Until next time, pleasant dreams.
WR Mystery Theater has been brought to you by ShopRite Supermarkets, where you get a lot more for a little less, and by Suburban Savings, with offices throughout North Jersey. The preceding Mystery Theater program was furnished by the CBS Radio Network.
I'm Fulton Lewis in the Mutual Broadcasting System studios in Washington, D.C. Now, my commentary. President Ford promised leniency to thousands of Vietnam-era draft dodgers and deserters today, declaring, "I want them to come home if they want to work their way back." In a big surprise move during his first trip outside of the city of Washington since assuming the presidency, Ford was in Chicago speaking to a Veterans of Foreign War convention. He signaled a sharp change in government policy. He indicated he favors a form of limited amnesty. He told the VFW conventioners that one of his first acts as president was to order a complete review by September 1st on the status of 50,000 young men convicted, charged, or sought for offenses loosely described as desertion and draft dodging, declaring that, quote, unconditional blanket amnesty is wrong. He added, quote, in my judgment, these young Americans should have a second chance to contribute their fair share to the rebuilding of peace among ourselves and with all nations. So I am, Ford concluded, throwing the weight of my presidency into the scales of justice on the side of leniency. I foresee their earned re-entry into a new atmosphere of love, hard work, and mutual trust. He offered no specifics on the shape of his still developing policy regarding amnesty, but he said decisions of my administration will make any future penalties fit the seriousness of the individual's mistake. After warmly applauding Ford's declaration that unconditional blanket amnesty is wrong, the some 3,000 delegates to the VFW convention sat almost silent as he added to his prepared text the section signaling a new and softer policy toward those who left the country or their military units during America's decade-long involvement in Vietnam. The VFW, like virtually every other veterans group in the nation, has steadfastly opposed any amnesty. In his speech, Ford also disclosed, much to the pleasure of the VFW, that he was naming former Indiana Congressman Richard Rauterbush as Veterans Administrator. He pledged improvements in the agency's operations. He gave a veiled warning that he may veto a $1.4 billion veterans education bill on grounds that it is inflationary, The president said, "We are all soldiers in a war against brutal inflation. America is fighting for its economic life. I will not hesitate to use the veto to control inflationary excesses." Standing in an open-top limousine, Ford was applauded and cheered by tens of thousands as his motorcade carried him through downtown Chicago. But outside the convention hotel, thousands of Greek Americans waved signs and chanted slogans criticizing his administration's policy regarding Cyprus. The demonstration in Chicago today was planned before the U.S. ambassador to Cyprus, Roger Davies, was slain in Cyprus when a mob of Greek Cypriots stormed the U.S. embassy in Nicosia. The Greek Americans who thronged to Grant Park across from the Conrad Hilton Hotel were demonstrating virtually against what they called a tilt toward Turkey and the U.S. policy regarding Cyprus. Few of the chants today named President Ford, but most of them were aimed at Secretary of State Henry Kissinger. They were calling for Kissinger to resign. Some were saying to give the Nobel Prize back. The president paid no apparent attention to the demonstrators. Ford told the convention delegates that the word of Davies' death was tragic news. President Ford adding, "He, too, gave his life in foreign wars. Let us offer our prayers and our condolences to his loved ones for his supreme sacrifice on behalf of all America." Ford apparently drafted his remarks regarding amnesty en route to Chicago today, inserting them into his prepared text. He said, "When he took office, I found on my desk where the buck stops the urgent problem of how to bind up the nation's wounds, and I aim to do that." He said as Commander-in-Chief, he will work within our system of military justice, but he said that he has ordered Attorney General William Saxby and Defense Secretary James Schlesinger to consult with other governmental officials and report their unvarnished views and those of the full spectrum of American opinion on this controversial question. Richard Nixon, the man Ford succeeded just 11 days ago, had followed a firm anti-amnesty policy, vowing at one point, never, 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 when asked regarding amnesty. One of Ford's last duties as vice president was to present, after death, 14 medals of honor to the parents, widows, and children of Vietnam heroes. Ford said, "As I studied their records of supreme sacrifice, I kept thinking how young they were. The few citizens of our country who, in my judgment, committed the supreme folly of shirking their duty at the expense of others were also very young. These young Americans should have a second chance. I will act," he said today. "I will act promptly, fairly, and firmly in the same spirit that guided Abraham Lincoln and Harry Truman. I reject amnesty, and I also reject revenge." His announcement that Ralph Bush, a former VFW national commander and now deputy VA administrator, would be promoted to succeed Donald Johnson drew sustained applause from the delegates today. Ford said, "He is a man who gets things done. I am confident that he will do a first-class job." He set some guideposts for the new administrator. He said, "This administration is going to see to it that we still know your name and your problems. A veteran is a person, not just a digit, in a computer system which, more often than not, goofs up. I want no arrogance or indifference to any individual, veteran or not." Because of Richard Nixon's decision to voluntarily step down from the presidency, a long impeachment debate on Capitol Hill obviously has been avoided, and because of that, both the House and the Senate have been able to get down to other pending business, matters which, had the impeachment process continued, may well have been delayed at least another 2 months, and possibly even longer. One of these issues is House consideration of the question of continued U.S. purchases of chrome ore from Rhodesia. It is an issue which was seemingly resolved some 3 years ago when, after lengthy debate and several very close roll call votes, the U.S. Senate went on record favoring a resumption of such purchases, trade with the southern African nation of Rhodesia having been discontinued by an executive order of President Lyndon Johnson issued in January of 1967. That was an order which brought the United States into full compliance with the United Nations Security Council embargo against Rhodesia. That Security Council action, in turn, having been brought at the request of the British government in response to Rhodesia's unilateral and, in London's view, illegal declaration of independence from Britain late in 1966. The problem of complying with the Security Council embargo of Rhodesian goods insofar as the United States was concerned, a problem that was ultimately recognized by the Senate, was that our domestic ferroalloy industry, which is a vital arm of our national defense system, had grown heavily dependent upon Rhodesian chrome. Chrome ore is a vital ingredient in the production of stainless steel, and you need stainless steel in order to manufacture scores of national defense items. Rhodesia, in fact, was about the only free world source of high-grade chrome ore. The mines there are actually owned by 2 American companies. Cutting ourselves off from Rhodesia would mean that we would have to turn to the world's second major source of chrome, the Soviet Union, and that, in the view of most defense specialists, would seriously jeopardize our national security. Indeed, that very situation did develop in the wake of President Lyndon Johnson's executive order of 1967. Beginning in January of that year, U.S. companies were told that they could no longer purchase Rhodesian chrome, and they were forced to turn to the Soviet Union for that material. The Kremlin, incidentally, responded to its new near-monopoly status by jacking up the price for its chrome from $25 per ton to more than $75 per ton, the increase being accomplished in a period of less than 3 years. It was Virginia Senator Harry Byrd who brought these matters to the attention of the Senate, and it was his amendment exempting chrome from the anti-Rhodesian boycott, which was ultimately approved by the Senate in the fall of 1971. By the time the issue reached the House of Representatives, the United Nations had voted to admit Communist China to that organization's membership, and as you recall, it had expelled one of the founding members, Nationalist China. The mood in the House of Representatives was hardly friendly to the UN, and in that atmosphere, the House members voted an overwhelming 251 to 100 in support of Senator Byrd's amendment, and by early 1972, imports of Rhodesian chrome to this country had been resumed. Liberals had argued vehemently against the Byrd Amendment. Its approval, they insisted, would have been a slap in the face of the United Nations, and some went so far as to argue that a UN decree actually superseded the law and authority of the United States anyway. They actually sued in the courts in hopes of getting the courts of this country to agree with their point, but they lost. The U.S. Court of Appeals ruled that the U.S. Constitution is still our national charter. The Charter of the United Nations is not. Significantly, when the vote in the House was taken in late 1971, Michigan Republican Representative Gerald Ford, then the House Minority Leader, took a strong stand in favor of the Byrd Amendment. Had he remained neutral, many other Republicans might have abstained. Several times since approval of the Byrd Amendment, congressional liberals have tried to have it repealed. Last January, they succeeded in getting the Senate to support repeal. Tomorrow, the issue comes up in the House. Regarding the Rhodesian chrome ore issue, it is to be hoped and expected in view of the overwhelming nature of the House of Representatives' last vote on the very same issue, that the House will remain consistent with its earlier stand when it votes tomorrow. Indeed, in later broadcasts this week, we're going to take a very close look at the roll call to see just which House members, if any, change their position. From the Mutual Studios in Washington, I'm Fulton Lewis, and that's the top of the news as it looks from here.
Have you ever visited San Francisco, Los Angeles, San Diego, Santa Fe, Las Vegas, San Antonio, Corpus Christi, Amarillo, or been to Colorado, Arizona, Texas, California, and Nuevo Mexico? Mexican cities and states? No. These places were founded and named by our forefathers.
The CBS Radio Mystery Theater presents... Come in. Welcome. I'm E.G. Marshall. And fasten your seatbelt for a breathtaking journey into the vast, mysterious, hidden recesses of your own imagination. Men who have a reputation for telling the truth are universally respected and admired. But on closer examination, you're apt to discover that they have been showered with accolades after they died. What the habitual truth teller is usually showered with during his lifetime is most often abuse. And it's understandable. In many cases, to tell the truth is to rock the boat. And why do that? Especially when the boat is warm and dry, while the water is cold and wet.
Elwood? Elwood, you come out here.
You want me, George?
What are you trying to pull?
I don't understand.
You refused to sign a safety certificate for the cable car. Why?
Because it isn't safe.
That's a lie.
I have a job to do.
You know the investment we have here?
I'm sorry, George.
It runs into millions.
I said I'm sorry.
Oh, no, you're not. You're not nearly as sorry as you're going to be.
Our mystery drama, A Preview of Death, was written especially for the Mystery Theater by Sam Dan and stars Russell Horton. It is sponsored in part by Buick Motor Division and Anheuser-Busch Incorporated, Brewers of Budweiser. I'll be back shortly with Act One.
Excuse me, sir, but do you know what happens this time of year?
Right on, pal. I happen to know that right about now a freak blizzard falls on Dumont, New Jersey, and they're snowed in for the rest of the summer. Happens every year.
Nope. You see, what happens this time of year is that you can get a particularly good deal on what is perhaps the most luxurious mid-size car on the market, the mid-size Buick Century Regal.
Well, what good's a car when you're hopelessly snowed in?
Well, that's a point.
Once upon a time, there came to pass a new law, and great changes came over the people. They were happy and busied themselves at work they enjoyed. They were kind to the earth, and it gave back to them. No one had to lock doors or put fences around their land. Everyone had enough to eat. The sick and the aged were cared for. The people stood proud and tall.
In the land of make-believe, there were no poor. The Campaign for Human Development is working to make the same thing happen in our real world.
Campaign for Human Development, United States Catholic Conference.
Listen to how America handles a headache.
Me? I take Bayer aspirin. It's gentle, and it gives me all the relief I need.
Bayer aspirin. It works, and it works fast.
For headache relief, I take Bayer. Bayer aspirin. Always have.
Yes, sir. More people use Bayer aspirin to relieve a headache than any other pain reliever. Bayer. It's number one. It's how America handles a headache. Use only as directed.
Bayer aspirin. It works, and it's a name I can trust.
This is KRLD News Director Dick Wheeler. Believability is the key to effective news reporting, and no broadcast news organization in Texas is more believed than KRLD News. Number one in audience ratings, number one in journalism awards, number one in believability, number one in now reporting. That's KRLD News, believed and respected by more people than any other radio station in the Southwest. You can believe
Public service of this station and the Advertising Council.
Fantasy has become a most saleable item, and you can buy just about any fantasy you want. There are places that create the illusion of tropical jungles, complete with roaming animals. You can roam through realistic replicas of the past and relive the lives of earlier Americans. There are enchanted presentations of the magic world of fairy tales. And we are about to regale you with Helvetia. Helvetia, high in the Rocky Mountains, is a faithful reproduction of a tiny Swiss village. The young ladies who work there look like Heidi. The men know how to yodel. And there are chalets and cheeses and wonderful skiing. Indeed, everything you would expect to find in a Swiss resort. There's even a cable car suspended high above the valley. And we're about to get on board.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? Now, you don't have to worry about your baggage or your skis. Everything will be taken off the bus and delivered to your chalet. And once we get you transported to Helvetia, the cable car will come back for your things. All right, now step aboard, please. Folks, you don't want to be late for dinner. This way, please. All right, there's a seat for everyone. Just step inside. Now, madam, you're really going to enjoy this. Once you tried it, you'll never be able to get enough. Oh, Jerry, is this it? 12? Okay, button her up. Okay, folks, we're off. And now, folks, welcome to Helvetia, a magic Swiss village in the good old USA. Those of you on the left side of the car can see fantastic Helvetia nestling in the valley just at the foot of that great peak which we call William Tell Mountain. Now, this cable car is the only means of entering or leaving. You'll travel for approximately 1.5 miles suspended above the ground. And we are now at our greatest altitude, 7,436 feet. Oh, my goodness. Now, I am often asked, what would we do if the cable breaks? I don't know what you would do, folks, but I'd scream. But, seriously, folks, there is absolutely no chance of that cable breaking or of any other kind of accident whatsoever. Why, this cable car is a triumph of modern science. Here we are, folks. In Helvetia, safe and sound.
Isn't that?
All right, thank you, folks. Step lively now, you'll miss dinner.
Hello, Duke.
What do you say, Elwood?
Going back?
Right now.
Glad I caught you.
Why, you leaving town?
No, it's time to inspect the car.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so throw her into gear. Let's go.
Well, you don't have to go. Here, let me take the card from behind the glass, and you can just initial it.
I'll initial it after the inspection, huh?
Look, Elwood,
What?
you're new on the job.
That's why I want to do it right.
Yeah, well, old man Farrah, he's been a county engineer since maybe the year 1. Before he got pensioned off, he just used to initial the card every month.
You did?
Yeah, after all, what could be wrong with the car?
Well, that's why the law requires a periodic inspection to find out.
Okay, Elwood. Be my guest.
Duke, you notice an increase in vibration?
No. She'd be the same as always.
It just seems to me that...
Well, I ought to know. I ride her all the time.
Well, we'll see.
Elwood, are you even trying to suggest that maybe there could be something wrong?
It's possible.
What? What'd you say?
You asked me, I told you.
Yeah, but... Well, what could be wrong? We're forever checking on the car, the cable, the machinery. I mean, you name it, we do it. This car, it's our bread and butter.
No, it has nothing to do with the car or the cable or the machinery.
What can you be talking about?
The mountain.
The mountain? What do you mean, the mountain? How can something be wrong with the mountain?
Hi, Elwood. Had your dinner?
Sure.
What a mob. We're completely sold out.
Business is good.
Oh, I tell you, Elwood, we none of us ever dreamed we could make such a go of this place. Look at this stack of reservations. Where are we going to put all these people? You going to spend the night, Elwood?
If it's convenient.
Well, how could it be inconvenient?
I do have to be at Sadler's Falls before noon tomorrow.
Oh, George isn't here. He's in Denver on business. But he's taking the first plane out. He'll want to see you first thing.
All right.
I hope you don't mind me coming up to your room.
Seems like old times. After all, when I was little, the day couldn't officially end until Big Sister came up to say goodnight.
Well, it's the only quiet place in the hotel. I have to work on these reservations.
You want me to help you?
Yeah, grab a handful. You separate them into single girls, single guys, couples, families.
Sure.
Oh, Elwood, George said to make sure you wouldn't leave till he speaks to you.
Okay.
He had a phone call from Duke, and Duke was very upset.
Yeah, Yeah, I know.
What's it about?
You know, the inspection certificate on the cable car.
Oh?
Yeah, I have to sign it.
So?
I inspected the car today, and I didn't sign it.
You didn't?
I couldn't.
But if there's something wrong with the car, we can get it fixed.
No, it can't be fixed.
Let me get this straight. Are you telling me that you won't sign that inspection certificate no-how?
Yes, I guess I am.
Oh, well, then that means we won't be able to use the cable car?
Yes.
But how are people going to get in and out of Helvetia?
I understand the problem.
No, Elwood, I'm afraid you don't understand. George and I and the other people, we've sunk every nickel we had in the world in here, and the work, oh, Lord, the toil, the sweat, and, yes, the blood that went into making this place. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that.
Muriel, I know what this place means to you and to everybody.
I spoke out of turn. You are, after all, an official of the government.
Just a county engineer.
Well, you have a duty to perform. You swore an oath, and there shouldn't be any other considerations.
Muriel, I don't know what to do. I mean it. I just don't know what to do.
He's crazy, that boy. He's out of his mind.
Please, George.
I went ahead and got him that job.
George.
Well, I did. I went and put in a word for him. Without me...
That's true, but...
But what?
Well, you talk as if he's working for you.
Well, he is. He's working for me, for Helvetia.
No, he's working for the county.
Well, by God, what's the county? Helvetia's the county. What else has the county got? What else is with it in the county? Muriel, we have to have that cable car. There's no two ways about it. We've got to have that cable car.
All right, George, maybe we will. After all...
After all what?
Well, he really hasn't made up his mind yet.
Well, what's there to think about?
His job, his duty, his oath of office.
Oh, come on, Muriel, don't hand me that.
Well, if the car were dangerous, would you want him to okay it?
Now, what kind of a question is that?
I think it's a legitimate question.
It's a stupid question.
Why?
Well, because it's impossible for something to be wrong with that car, with the apparatus, with any detail of the operation.
Why?
Well, you know how we worry over it, as if it were a watch. Now, where is he?
Well, he'll be down any minute. He didn't get much sleep all night. I know he's been worried.
He doesn't have to be worried about anything. All he has to do is use his common sense.
George, don't say any more.
Oh, I hadn't even begun yet. Has this boy forgotten what he owes me? Or you? Us?
That's not the issue.
No? Well, who raised the boy? You did. Who sent him to college? I did. I didn't make an engineer out of him so that he could come back here and drive me out of business, did I?
George, do something that doesn't always come easy to you. Just shut up. When he comes down, please don't discuss it.
Don't discuss it. Why do you think I got on a plane 5 o'clock this morning to get here?
Well, don't tell him how much you've done for him, how much he owes you.
Okay. I took a course in psychology.
Yeah, you'd never let me forget it.
Is this how he gets back at us?
What are you saying?
Do things for somebody and they resent it. Subconsciously, they develop an animosity towards you.
Good morning, Muriel. George?
Oh, good morning. Bacon and eggs okay?
Fine.
Good morning, Elwood. How are tricks?
Kind of busy these days. They want to build a road at Saddler's Forks.
Yeah. The county's really getting built up.
Sure is.
Pour you some coffee, Elwood?
Yeah, thanks.
Have some cream?
No, I have to lose weight.
Damn it, the Elwood. What's the big idea?
George.
What are we sitting around for like 3 bumps on a log? This whole place can become a ghost town, and everybody's investment can go right down the drain just because...
Because what, George?
Because some wet behind-the-ears kid is maybe getting a little bit drunk with power.
Can I tell you what's bothering me?
Just sign that certificate and nothing has to bother.
The mountain. The mountain across the valley where the cable is anchored, you know? On the plateau where the bus delivers the people?
Well, so?
That mountain. Inside that mountain, there's...
There's what?
There's a fault.
What do you mean, a fault?
That mountain is... Well, I guess you could say it's slowly separating. It's coming apart.
But nobody ever said...
Well, it could be something new. It might have been caused by an underground atomic explosion.
But there haven't been any of those near here.
It doesn't matter. It could have been 1,000 miles away.
Well, how do you know?
Well, there are signs.
What kind of signs?
You remember the old abandoned silver mine?
Yeah?
Yeah. Well, I noticed that some of the buildings and shafts are sinking into the ground.
Yeah, but that's on the other side of the mountain.
In a direct line. You've got other geological signs.
Yeah, but the foundation for the cable, that's like the Rock of Gibraltar.
George, I've measured the angle of declension of the cable. It's been widening.
Huh? By how much?
Well, a minute fraction, but that doesn't matter. It's proof that there is a separation.
Well, how fast?
Maybe a fraction of an inch a year.
So, a million years from now, we can worry about it.
Now, that doesn't mean the rate can't increase rapidly without warning. I mean, it could last 100 years or forever. Or it could go tomorrow morning. It could just come apart. Collapse.
Well, all right. Never mind all that. Just tell us flat out. What are you going to do?
What is he going to do? He appears to be a dedicated public servant. On the other hand, he is a human being with intense personal debts and loyalties. He's thinking about it. And he'll have an answer when I return shortly with Act 2.
Ever see a beer drinker pour his beer real easy down the side of the glass? Maybe you do it yourself. If so, the Budweiser brewmaster thinks you're missing something, especially if you're a Budweiser drinker. You see, Bud is brewed, so it will kick up a healthy head of foam. Exclusive beechwood aging and natural carbonation make it a lively brew. Well, anyway, pouring Bud plunk down the middle of the glass helps bring out the best in that clean white Budweiser foam and real beer aroma. It also helps you get the full benefit of a taste, smoothness, and drinkability you'll find in no other beer at any price. Remember, brewing beer right does make a difference. Next time, pour that Budweiser right down the middle and see for yourself. Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis.
Occasional acid indigestion and heartburn can be more than just acid alone. Often there's trapped gas, too. That's what we call gasid indigestion. Digel is made for gasid indigestion because Digel is different. It does more. Digel reduces excess acid while its patented simethicone gets rid of trapped gas fast. Use only as directed. Digel for gasid indigestion. No plain add acid can do what Digel can.
Denture wearers, here's a thermoplastic denture adhesive which hot or cold liquids can't dissolve. It's Cushion Grip. One application of Cushion Grip creates a comfort cushion seal that holds dentures securely up to 4 days. No more need to apply messy powders, pastes, or creams 2 or 3 times daily. You can brush and soak dentures again and again, yet Cushion Grip stays on up to 4 days. For greater comfort and security, change to Cushion Grip.
Your name is Elwood Markham. You owe everything you have in the world, your life, your education, your job, to your older sister and her husband. As a public official, you must certify or condemn conveyances that transport people. There is a conveyance that serves as the foundation of your sister's business. You cannot, in good conscience, certify it as safe. If this concerned strangers, you wouldn't hesitate. However, it's your sister. Are you going to destroy her?
What would you do if I refused to sign it?
Go to the county supervisor. Enter a protest. Ask for outside experts. Hire a team of geologists.
It wouldn't help. Word would get out. Whichever way it went, the publicity would kill us.
Look,
George and I are going to leave you, Elwood. Everything's already been said. You just have to decide as you see it. Come on, George.
But I...
George!
Yeah?
What was I supposed to do? I walked to the window. Outside was an enchanted street. It was As if you were in another world, another country thousands of miles away. And all this was their handiwork. Of course, the cable car was unsafe, but it was only unsafe in theory. In practice, it could serve 100 years without a mishap. The odds of this cable car falling were perhaps about those of a plane crashing, a ship sinking. Certainly less than that of a car colliding. So, I knew I was going to sign that certificate. But I also knew I was being bribed. It was a subtle bribe, but bribery nevertheless. I was being bribed with their love, their companionship. Because after all, if I refused to sign, things would never really be the same between us again.
Hey there, Elwood.
Morning, Duke.
I got a call from the chalet to hold the car for you. Leaving?
Yeah.
All right, hop in. We're off. How come you're not afraid to ride this baby?
Well, why should I be afraid? It's perfectly safe.
Is it?
Yeah. Matter of fact, before I forget, let me have the card. I better sign it.
Well, yesterday afternoon, you were handing me this line.
No, the situation adjusted itself.
Now I no longer feel alone.
Well, hello.
My cab dropped me off here about 20 minutes ago. When does that cable car show up?
Should be along any minute now.
Are you going to Helvetia?
No, I have a package I want to have delivered to my brother-in-law at the chalet.
Well, I understand it's a fabulous place. I was lucky to get a reservation.
I'm sure you'll enjoy it.
You know, you look familiar.
I was about to, say that about you, too.
My name is Daphne. Daphne Aldershot.
Daphne Aldershot. That's kind of a wild name.
Well, what's yours?
Elwood. Elwood Markham.
That's a very sober, serious kind of name.
Maybe it's because I'm a very sober, serious kind of person.
Oh? What do you do?
I'm an engineer.
Yes, that's kind of sober and serious.
What do you do?
I'm a librarian in Denver.
Oh. You don't look like a librarian.
Why? How are librarians supposed to look?
Oh, prim, mousy.
You really should get with it. Oh, my goodness. Am I going to go into that?
In less than 5 minutes, you'll be in Helvetia.
Oh.
Will you be staying home?
10 days.
Oh. Maybe I'll see you. I'll be there tomorrow afternoon. Tell Mrs. Lucas at the chalet that you're a friend of mine.
Okay, all aboard. Hey, Elwood, how you doing?
Can you get this package to George for me, Duke?
Sure thing, Elwood.
And, take good care of Daphne.
Oh, how you do, Daphne?
She's my fiancée.
Congratulations, Elwood, Daphne.
Elwood, darling, I'll see you very soon, won't I?
You'll see me tomorrow, darling. I'll bring a preacher with me. We'll get married.
Can I be best man?
Sure.
Okay. Oh, we're off.
Goodbye, Daphne. What's that? What's that? The mountain. The falls. It's opening. It's open. Oh, no, it's opening.
Elwood,
No.
Elwood, help
Daphne!
me.
Daphne! Daphne! No! No! Daphne! 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 No! Daphne!
Elwood. Boy, snap out of it. Snap out of it, Elwood.
Oh, Daphne, don't die. I love you, Daphne.
Elwood.
Daphne,
Come on, boy. Wake up. That's it.
What is... Daphne.
That's it. You're out of it now. Oh, man. You have the great granddaddy of all nightmares. I mean, we heard you across the hall in our room, you're in and I.
Was it a dream?
Oh, was it ever? You sure scared the daylights out of
Daphne.
You've been holding out on us, boy? Who's Daphne?
Oh, it seems so real.
You want Muriel to get you something to drink, maybe?
Now, look, I was standing at the cable car platform, and And there she was.
Who?
Daphne.
Well, that's what I mean. Who's Daphne?
I don't know.
How could you dream about a girl you don't know?
Dark hair, blue eyes.
Mm-hmm. I was always partial to that type myself.
She was beautiful. It was so real. And we stood at the platform, and I put her in the car, and
Yes.
in the car, just the mountainside. It started to give way. The fall.
Oh, Elwood, it's a bad dream. That's all. Just a bad dream.
Yeah. Just a bad dream.
Well, how's everything now?
Oh, it was just a nightmare.
Oh, how about something warm to drink?
No, I'll be fine.
What was it about, Elwood?
He was dreaming about a girl.
Oh, could a girl cause you that much grief?
No, I was dreaming about the mountain.
What about the mountain?
Just came apart.
Oh, Elwood, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
No, it's all right.
No, it isn't all right.
Don't worry about it.
What about the girl?
I never saw her before.
What's everybody getting so excited about a simple nightmare? Well, I'm going back to bed. You coming, Muriel?
In a minute. Elwood, I'm worried about you.
I'll be okay.
You shouldn't have signed that safety certificate.
Oh, come on. It's all right to be Don Quixote on the stage, but in real life...
But you are Don Quixote. You always were.
I can get over it.
And George and me, well, maybe our motives for getting you the job of county engineer weren't exactly the purest in the world.
Muriel, what are you saying?
Oh, maybe unconsciously we wanted to have our own man in office so we wouldn't be bothered with all the official inspections.
Muriel, I won't believe that you could have such a motive.
Well, as I say, it wasn't a conscious one. Anyhow, it's all so complicated, isn't it? Look, next month, don't sign the certificate.
No, I've already fought that battle. It's over.
Well, then resign.
It is over, Muriel. I had this crazy nightmare. I conjured up this girl out of nowhere. But why? Why did she seem so real? And that name.
What name?
Her name. Where would I ever hear it before?
Well, I'll let you get back to sleep.
Yeah. That nightmare sure knocked me out. I think I could sleep for a week.
Well, you better get up early. You have to be in Denver for lunch.
What?
Oh, I must have forgotten to tell you. Your boss called. There's a luncheon meeting of the municipal engineers. He can't make it, and you're to go in his place.
Oh.
Is it really that much of a bore?
Denver. I wonder if...
If what?
If she really works in the library.
Who?
No, it's crazy.
What are you talking about?
On the other hand, suppose there is such a girl. Just suppose. All corn, Alden, Aldershot. Daphne Aldershot. It just can't be. It just can't be. Huh. But why not? Okay, so it is. But what am I going to say to her? Huh.
Hello? Hello?
Is this Daphne Aldershot?
Yes.
Miss Daphne Aldershot?
Yes. Who are you?
Are you, the Daphne Aldershot who's a librarian?
Yes. Who is this?
You don't know me.
And I don't think I want to.
Hey, please, don't hang up.
Why not?
Just answer one question. Have you any plans, do you expect to go to Helvetia?
What business would that be of yours?
I have to know.
Why?
Now, look, I'm not a kook or a crank.
Well, I find that hard to believe.
Just, look, but please, tell me if you plan to go to Helvetia.
And suppose I do. Then what?
Don't. Please. For your own good. Don't go.
believe it or not, there is a Daphne Aldershot. And she is a librarian. And she is coming to Helvetia. Is Elwood Markham a man who can see into the future? Well, so far, his forward vision seems to be 2020. But we can check it further when I return shortly with Act 3.
Who knows how to help you solve your shopping problems? Your Better Business Bureau knows.
Listen, Lou, this fellow was at the door about the home repair, you know, and he wants me to sign the contract now. What'll I do?
You don't have to sign that contract now, madam.
You're not Lou. Who are you?
I'm the man from the Better Business Bureau with some advice to help you to protect yourself. Read all the documents before you sign and take your time. He'll come back tomorrow. And incidentally, keep a copy of any form you do sign. And be sure you understand what you're signing.
Oh, thank you for telling me.
No need to thank me, madam. That's what Better Business Bureaus are for, to help protect consumers like you.
What do you tell a husband who comes home and says, I just don't know about a vacation this year? Well, you tell him about Ramada Inn's family plan, where your kids 18 and under share your room free. And you tell him about the toll-free Ramada Inn's reservation number, 800-228-2828. At least that's what I tell him.
At Ramada Inns, you're always welcome home.
This is Al Wisk. Bobby Bragan of the Texas League will be our guest Wednesday night. For those of you who are longtime Texas League fans, it'll be your chance to reminisce with the president of the league and one of the game's most colorful personalities. If you're not familiar with the Texas League, you'll hear about the most historic minor league organization in baseball. Our first sports question, who was the last man to win the Triple Crown in the National League in Major League Baseball? Sports Central Dallas, this week, Baseball Week. Wednesday, Bobby Bragan, 6 to 7 on KRLD.
Elwood Markham keeps having nightmares. In his nightmares, a girl he never even heard of steps into the overhead cable car that transports visitors to the enchanting resort called Helvetia. The car falls and she gets killed. But now, he has a real problem. It seems that this girl exists, and she intends to come to Helvetia. And she will have to get into that cable car.
No. Daphne! Daphne, darling, Daphne! Daphne, please! Daphne!
And who is Daphne?
I'm having this nightmare.
Oh, we could hear you all over the place.
I'm having it all the time now.
Well, who's Daphne?
The girl who gets killed.
What?
She's a girl. She's a girl named Daphne Aldershot.
Yes?
Yeah, and she's coming to Helvetia. And I meet her at the cable car terminal at the mountainside, and we fall in love. And how would I know she's coming here? To Helvetia, how would I know?
Well, who says she exists? She's part of your nightmare.
Listen. Last week, I was in Denver, remember?
Yes?
Yeah, her name, Daphne Aldershot. It's in the book.
Well, all kinds of names are in the book.
And I spoke to her on the phone.
Now, just a minute, Elwood. Are you sure?
I'm sure. I called her number. She answered, and she is coming here. To Helvetia. She said so.
Well, let's check it out. Ginny, get me Greta at the reservation desk. Thanks.
It is not my imagination.
Greta, do we have a reservation for, Daphne Aldershot?
She said she was planning to...
We do.
Find out when.
This Miss Aldershot, when is she arriving? Friday night?
Find out what time. What time?
What time? 9 o'clock. Thank you, Greta.
9 o'clock. 9 o'clock. Don't you see?
What?
The first time I saw her in my dream, she was alone at the terminal. Now, that's because she got here late.
Elwood, there must be some kind of explanation.
I dreamed there was a girl named Daphne Aldershot. I dreamed she was killed when the cable car fell. It turns out there is a girl named Daphne Aldershot. It happens she's coming to Helvetia. So?
Elwood, it could all be,
How would I know? How would I know?
Maybe you better,
Better what? See a doctor? You think I'm crazy?
No, you're just tired, emotionally exhausted.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I've got 4 days. I have to stop her.
May I help you?
I wasn't looking for a book.
No? And what are you doing in a library?
I was, I'm looking for you.
Really?
Yeah, I'm the one who called you on the phone.
Yes?
Yeah, I tried to tell you not to go to Helvetia.
You're the nut.
No, now I assure you, I am sane. That is, I'm as sane as any normal person, which I admit isn't saying very much.
Yeah, well, sir, I'm busy, and I just don't have time to...
Can we go somewhere and talk?
I don't think so. As a matter of fact, there's a security guard over by the door.
You wouldn't call him?
What makes you think so?
Aren't you even the least bit curious? Look, my name is Elwood Markham. I'm an engineer. I'm county engineer over in Custer County, and, look, you could check it out.
Mm-hmm.
It's 12 o'clock. You have to have lunch.
I bring a sandwich.
There's a place just around the corner. Now, what could happen to you?
That's just what I'm afraid of. Nothing.
You don't really want to go to Helvetia.
But I do. I've been saving my money for almost 2 years.
The place is a phony. I should know. My sister and brother-in-law, they run the biggest chalet there, and it's just, you know, it's imitation.
Well, I hear it's fabulous.
Take it from me. You won't like it. In the first place, there's about 5 girls to every guy.
Is that so?
Oh, yes, it's a fact.
Well, will you be there?
Daphne,
You know, you are cute. I mean, you're so serious.
I'm trying to tell you...
I never met anybody who's as serious as you. I mean, serious and a little crazy at the same time. Now, you tell me why I shouldn't go to Helvetia.
Well, you will think I'm crazy now. Wait till you hear the real reason.
I'm waiting.
I dreamed about you.
Well, now. When?
Oh, 2 weeks ago.
But how could you? You didn't even know me.
You and I met at the terminal where the cable car takes off for Helvetia.
Oh, I've heard that is the most exciting part of the whole...
And we fell in love.
Now, don't rush me. Wait a minute.
and you got on the car, and the car took off, and there was a rock slide, and the cable car broke loose, and the car fell, and you were killed.
Wow! Oh, what any good psychiatrist would make out of that. So that's why you don't want me to go to Helvetia?
Yes.
Well, I must say, I've heard a lot
Before you say anything, remember what I told you about my job?
What is your job?
I said I was county engineer, and I had to inspect that car, right, for safety?
Yes, well?
Well, it is not safe.
Oh, well, then that takes care of that. The car won't be allowed to run, and I won't be killed, and there's no problem.
No, there is a problem. I okayed the car.
But if it isn't safe, why did you?
Because it's so complicated, and safe is a relative situation. Daphne, please, don't go. Don't.
It's been nice meeting you, Elwood, and I would like to get to know you better. But you're just too deep, too involved, I don't know. Maybe if you could get yourself straightened out,
Daphne, you can't go to Helvetia Friday night. I am going to stop you.
How can you stop me?
Excuse me, Elwood. County Engineering Office, Tracy. Yeah? I'll put Elwood on it. Right. Talk of the road being washed away.
On the other side of the mountain where the cable car terminal is.
How'd you know?
It's part of what I'm trying to tell you, Mr. Tracy.
Elwood, I just can't condemn the cable car without giving the folks at Helvetia notice.
But look, this is an emergency.
2 weeks ago, you certified the car as safe. Now, what's come up so sudden?
It hasn't been sudden. I've known about it for months.
Well, then what? Why didn't you...
Well, because I...
Because of Muriel and George?
Yeah, it's part of it. Maybe.
We've lived with geological faults, Elwood.
Yeah, sure, but a heavy rain, unusual amount of snow, any one of 100 subterranean disturbances in that whole side of the mountain...
Okay, let's do a study.
No, that will take weeks, months. It could go any time.
And it could never go at all. Elwood, now here's what you have to do. Next time you inspect it, in 2 weeks, condemn it. Give me a full report, request an investigation, and we'll bring in the experts.
And they'll only disagree among themselves, and nothing will happen.
Elwood, it was your job to withhold the safety certificate.
I know, Mr. Tracy.
Well, once again, put it in writing.
By that time, it'll be too late.
Too late for what?
Can't anybody believe me?
Hi, Elwood. Want some coffee?
No, thanks.
Where you been the past few days?
Muriel, do something for me.
Okay.
Miss Daphne Aldershot.
Oh?
You know, she's due here tomorrow evening.
And?
Call her. Send her a wire, anything. Tell her you had to cancel her reservation.
Why should I do that?
Because I ask you to.
Oh, I really can't do that, Elwood.
You own the place, you and George. You can do anything you like.
Well, not really. Miss Aldershot sent us a deposit. We confirmed her reservation. We can't just cancel her.
What's to stop you?
Well, first, it's unethical. Second, it's illegal. She could sue us.
Let her.
She could win.
Let her. I won't pay the damages. You won't lose anything.
Elwood, please. What is this?
I told you she is going to be killed tomorrow night.
Elwood.
No, Muriel. I know I'm not talking like an engineer, like a practical, down-to-earth facts and figures man, but the truth is, I don't know. I've had a vision. Muriel, somehow, some way, I was given a glimpse into the future. How else would I know about a girl named Daphne Aldershot?
These things are just,
Yes, they're just what?
Wait a minute. You say there was no way you could ever hear of Daphne?
That's right.
But there is. There was.
What? What are you talking about?
That night, 2 weeks ago, you were feeling bad about the inspection.
Yeah.
I came up to your room, and I happened to have a stack of reservations. You offered to help sort them out. That's where you could have seen her name.
Oh, I don't remember any of those names. None of them made an impression on me.
Well, not consciously, but that name, that sort of unusual name, Daphne Aldershot.
It's impossible.
Only because you refused to admit it. And then you had a guilty conscience about the inspection. And the two things spun around in your mind.
No. That couldn't happen.
You wanted to punish yourself, so you fell in love with a girl named Daphne Aldershot, only to have her die because of your neglect of duty.
How would I know she's a librarian?
She listed her job on the reservation. Now, do you understand? It's all right. Everything's all right.
No, it is not. I have to save her.
Hello, look who's here. I was beginning to think I was all alone in the world.
Daphne, do you realize that's what you said when I first met you? In a dream?
My cab driver dropped me off here about 20 minutes ago. When does the cable car arrive?
You decided to come, after all.
Elwood, what am I going to do about you?
You could listen to me.
Mm-mm. That's something I must never do. But otherwise, we'll get along okay.
Daphne, can't you ever be serious?
I am serious. I saw you for the first time, and I said, uh-oh, poor Daphne. Of all the guys. Well, I'll try to make the best of it. Oh, hey, look. Here it comes.
Daphne, let's get out of here.
Why?
Oh, haven't I been telling you why? Don't you feel it?
What?
Feel it, the The vibration, that vibration under your feet.
I don't feel anything.
All aboard. Hey, Elwood.
Can't you hear it?
Hear what?
That rumbling.
No, I don't hear anything.
Duke, get out of the car.
Elwood, what's fighting you?
There's a slide.
Well, I don't hear anything.
I said get out of there.
Elwood, take your hands off me.
Why did you hit him?
Help me. Help me get him out of there.
What's that?
I told you. Come on, let's drag him back as far as we can go.
Elwood, we're going to get killed.
Hurry up.
No,
hurry, come on. Maybe we can get back far enough.
I'm
Quick, come on. Here's the place over here. Where the earth is cracking over here. Before we do it, come on. Come on, we can do it. Come on, Daphne. Daphne, pull yourself. Daphne, come on, Daphne.
And they did it. They just managed to scramble to safety as the piece of the mountain that held the cable anchor fell away. Happily, though, it didn't spell the end for Elwood and Daphne. It was a beginning. For Helvetia, it was a continuation. They flew the people in by helicopter, and the place is doing better than ever. Whether or not you decide to make a reservation to go there, remember your daily reservation with us, here. I'll return shortly.
Pardon me, miss. Can you tell me what happens this time of year?
Rhubarb reaches its peak.
Nope.
Muskmelon reaches its peak?
No.
Oh, well, does it in any way involve something reaching its peak?
No, not really.
Oh.
What happens this time of year is that you can get a really outstanding deal on Buick's small but surprisingly elegant Apollo. And with what's happening to prices, you may never have a better chance to buy a Buick, huh?
Hey, I know what happens.
Yeah?
The buzzards come back to Hinckley Ridge, Ohio.
Oh. I hadn't thought of that.
Spruce and maple trees give us the violin. And if we don't stop burning them down, we'll have a little less music. We'll also have a little less lumber, a little less paper, a little less rayon, a little less alcohol, a little less maple syrup, a little less printing ink, a little less turpentine.
A public service
charcoal.
On behalf of the Forest Service, State Foresters, and the Ad Council.
Can you see into the future? There are several schools of opinion. However, the best way to answer that question is to ask, what is the future? Isn't the future, after all, the fabric we weave out of the strands of the present? So, if you know all the strands, all the threads, and all the stitches, why is it impossible to foresee the design? We'll have another terrifyingly delightful design for you next time. Our cast included Russell Horton, Stats Cotsworth, Clarice Blackburn, Robert Dryden, and Marion Seldes. The entire production was under the direction of Hyman Brown.
Now, a preview of our next tale.
Now, what is all this about?
I'm a detective.
A detective?
Yes, now, no one must know but you. And particularly not Amy or that man she's dancing with.
What danger is there?
We're pretty sure that Archer Hamlin's crowd is out to get Amy for fingering the boss.
Oh, no. You mean those crank calls were for real?
And that is why I'm here. We think this might be the perfect spot for them.
Why?
Well, we think one of them will probably pose as a guest, get friendly with Amy, and then kill her in some way to make it look like an accident.
How awful.
Well, this is the perfect spot for it. With horseback riding, a lake.
I can hardly believe it.
Well, it's possible, Lois. And very probable.
Radio Mystery Theater was sponsored in part by Anheuser-Busch Incorporated, Brewers of Budweiser, and Buick Motor Division. This is E.G. Marshall inviting you to return to our Mystery Theater for another adventure in the macabre. Until next time, pleasant dreams.
how to pay half price for a Firestone tire most people call the new car tire. Go to your local Firestone store or participating dealer. Buy one Firestone Deluxe Champion tire at the regular price. Get a second one for half price. This double-belted polyester fiberglass tire is called the new car tire. For years, more new cars have come with a Deluxe Champion than any other tire made by Firestone. You'll see it on lots of 75s, too. Put the double-belt Deluxe Champion on your car now and save money. Buy one at the regular price, get the second one for half price at Firestone, where you can charge them, of course.
Wherever wheels are rolling, no matter what the load, the name that's known is Firestone, where the rubber meets the road. Firestone, Firestone, Firestone.
The CBS Radio Mystery Theater presents... I'm E.G. Marshall. Come a little closer. Closer. That's better. Now you're on the edge of your seat. And we mean to keep you there for the next 52 minutes with a story of terror and suspense. Doing one's civic duty is one thing. But turning in the hardened boss of a notorious crime ring takes either guts or just plain ignorance. We're not too sure which it was with Amy Hastings, but she did her duty. She put the finger on Archer Hamlin, the top drug dealer whose arrest and conviction all but put a stop to the flow of drug traffic in and out of New York City. Such an admirable act deserves a reward, which Amy received. $1,000 from a city newspaper. And that's not all.
Hello?
Amy Hastings, please.
This is Miss Hastings.
Are you enjoying the money, Miss Hastings?
What do you mean?
The money you got for turning in Archer Hamlin and giving testimony against him at the trial.
Who is this?
A friend? With a little advice?
Yes?
Better spend that money fast, Miss Hastings. You may not live long enough to enjoy it.
Our mystery drama, Having a Horrible Time, was written especially for the Mystery Theater by Bob Juran and stars Lynn Loring and Francis Sternhagen. It is sponsored in part by Buick Motor Division and Anheuser-Busch Incorporated, Brewers of Budweiser. I'll be back shortly with Act One.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah?
I would like to ask a deceptively simple question.
Okay.
I say deceptive because few people seem to know the answer.
Oh, go ahead.
Are you ready?
Yeah, ready as rain.
Okay.
No, wait. I think that should be right as rain.
Oh, well...
No, you wait. Make that ready as I'll ever be, okay? Ready as I'll ever be.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, the question is this.
Yeah, go ahead.
What happens this time of year?
That's it.
That's the question.
That's the $64,000 question. That's the one for all the marbles, right? That's the one that's on everybody's lips, huh?
Yes.
That's the question. Well, as everyone should know, what happens this time of year is that Buick dealers are giving great deals on 1974 Buicks, which of course means that this time of year may very well be the best chance you'll ever have to buy a Buick. From the thrifty but surprisingly elegant Apollo to the dashing full-size LeSabre to the Electra, which surprisingly enough is the second largest selling luxury car in America.
Know-it-all.
If you wear or buy eyeglasses, you couldn't live in a better place than Dallas. Optics is right here, one of the nation's largest suppliers of glasses and contact lenses. Opticians and optometrists all over the country send them work. And now, Optics have a special plant sales room open to the public. That means anybody in the Dallas area can now enjoy Texas-size savings on all glasses and contacts. The widest choice of quality frames, a complete choice of lenses, clear, tinted, bifocals, contacts, and the new half-weights, lenses that are half the weight of glass. Complete one-day service for most glasses, too.
full satisfaction guaranteed. Optics Vision Center, the special direct sales outlet right at Optics Plant, 2534 Royal Lane between Stemmons and Harry Hines. Open to the public Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 5:30. Saturday till 12. Come in and see for yourself.
Put on a happy face at your vision center.
How about a little vacation? Some fun and fresh air. Let's go along with Amy Hastings and Lois Wilson on their way to a swinging singles week at the Tomahawk Tree Lodge, snuggled deep in Pennsylvania's Pocono Mountains. Swimming, horseback riding, tennis, golf, the works, including murder. But let's not dwell on morbid things. We're off for a vacation at the Tomahawk Tree Lodge, and it's just up the road.
I just wish we were going to arrive in daylight, Lois. We won't be able to see anything at night.
Don't worry, Amy. We'll have plenty of time to see every nook and cranny of the place. Besides, all the fun begins at night. That's when the wolves come out.
I hope you don't mean the four-legged kind. Anyhow, it sure is good to get away from the city and all those awful phone calls.
Anytime a person gets their name in the paper, they're plagued with crank calls. Forget it. We're off for a good time.
Oh, I won't spoil your fun, Lois. I promise.
Now, don't think about my fun. I can take care of myself. This is really your vacation. I still feel you shouldn't be paying for everything.
But why shouldn't I? What better way could I spend that reward money?
It took a lot of courage to do what you did.
No, not courage, really. I mean, I just recognized that man from the pictures in the paper and told the police.
Still, you deserved every penny of the reward.
You know, I wonder how he feels now.
Who? Archer Hamlin?
Yes.
As bad as could be expected, I hope. He was the worst thing that ever happened to New York City.
I do feel kind of sorry for him, though.
Oh.
I mean, I guess I would, because I was responsible for them catching him.
Now, baby, get Archer Hamlin off your mind. He's right where he belongs, behind bars, and it's silly to brood about him.
You're right. I'm not going to even think about it. I'm going to enjoy myself.
That's the spirit.
I know the girls at the office think I'm some kind of a prude.
Oh, well, there's some bunch. In the 2 months I've been there, I haven't seen one who has any brains, except you. Well, it's nice to have you for a friend. I don't make close friends easily.
We just sort of hit it off, you might say. I keep to myself a lot. I just never feel close to the girls at the office.
Well, forget them. We're off for a week of fun, and you're going to love this place.
Tomahawk Tree Lodge. It even sounds exciting. Lois, don't you think we ought to wait till tomorrow? I mean, should we be too anxious to meet someone?
Listen, the hard-to-get approach is all right in an East Side bar. But here, it's first come, first served. Here's an empty table. Now sit yourself down and we'll order some cool drinks.
It's so exciting and beautiful.
Oh, waiter, 2 Collins, please.
Lois.
What?
Don't look right away. But there's a man at the bar looking at us.
Where?
Lois, don't be so obvious. That tall, blonde fellow.
Well, I wonder if he has a friend.
Oh, Lois.
Amy, we're not here to spend the week by ourselves.
Will you stop craning?
He might join us if we let him know we're interested.
He just keeps staring.
Hey, it looks as though someone else is interested. That one in the tan jacket's heading this way and beating him to it.
I sort of like the one at the bar better.
Well, we have the whole week ahead of us.
What do we say?
Hello is a good one for a start. Oh, Amy, just remember you're a swinging single. Now relax.
Well, good evening.
How do you do?
Hello.
You girls just arrived?
Not a half hour, though.
We believe in making every minute count.
Well, at a place like this, That's the thing to do. I'm Fred Russell.
I'm Lois Wilson, and this is Amy Hastings.
Pleasure to meet you, Amy.
Hi.
Have you been here long, Mr. Russell?
Mr. Russell? Now, look, at a place like this, it's Fred. Okay? No, actually, I just got here yesterday.
Oh, a newcomer, too.
How long are you planning to stay, Amy?
1 week. That's all we got.
Are you staying long yourself, Fred?
Well, that depends.
Depends on what?
On whether I like it or not. By the way, you're from New York, aren't you?
Yes, that's right. How'd you guess?
I saw the license plate on your car.
Oh, you.
Are you the official welcoming committee?
Oh, no. But being observant and friendly is sort of a pastime with me. Look, I hope I can show you around a little while you're here, Amy, if it's all right.
Well, I guess so.
You've been here before, then?
Oh, sure. Yeah, there's a lot to do. You got horseback riding and canoeing and swimming, all those things. But, they're not much fun alone.
Well, that's what we're here for. Isn't it, Lois?
Yes. Yes, it is.
Well, look, if you'll let me, I promise to show you a good time, Amy. How about starting with a dance?
Oh,
That is, if Lois doesn't mind.
Oh, not at all.
Come on, then.
Lois, are you sure you don't mind?
Oh, heavens, no. Go ahead.
I promise not to keep her long.
Have fun.
See you later.
Mind if I join you?
Oh, well, not exactly, but an introduction would be nice.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm Ralph Cook.
I'm Lois Wilson. How do you do?
Forgive me for seeming forward, but who is that dancing with Amy?
What?
That is Amy Hastings, isn't it?
Yes, it is, but how did you know?
Well, she's the girl who fingered Archer Hamlin last month.
Yes.
You said your name was...
Lois Wilson.
A friend of hers?
Look, Mr. Cook, just who are you? How do you know Amy?
Miss Wilson, I have to talk to you privately. It's important.
What is this?
It's about Amy.
Well, what about her?
We have reason to believe she may be in very great danger.
Oh?
Let's dance. It'll seem more natural.
What danger is Amy in?
Well, I'll explain it in a minute. Please. I need your help. Now, first of all, may I call you Lois?
Of course.
And I'm Ralph.
Yes, so you said. Now, what is all this about?
I'm a detective.
A detective?
Yes, now, no one must know but you. And particularly not Amy or that man she's dancing with.
What danger is there?
We're pretty sure that Archer Hamlin's crowd is out to get Amy for fingering the boss.
Oh, no. You mean those crank calls were for real?
And that is why I'm here. We think this might be the perfect spot for them.
Why?
Well, we think one of them will probably pose as a guest, get friendly with Amy, and then kill her in some way to make it look like an accident.
Oh, how awful.
Well, this is the perfect spot for it. With horseback riding, a lake.
I can hardly believe it.
Well, it's possible, Lois. And very probable.
Oh, what can I do?
I want you to be my date. And that way I can keep close to Amy without arousing suspicion. What's the name of the man she's dancing with?
Oh, Fred something. Fred Russell. That's it.
He approached you as soon as you sat down.
That's right.
If he is the man, he'd want to get to Amy first before any other summer Lothario started making time.
You know, come to think of it, he did beat another man to our table. A tall, blonde fellow who kept staring at us. And it was Amy he was after. He hardly spoke to me.
That jibes.
And he noticed our rented car had a New York license plate.
Well, he's been watching for you. This Hamlin crowd is shrewd. They don't shoot people from black cars. They'll go to any lengths to kill without arousing suspicion, no matter what it involves or how long it takes. That's why Hamlin himself got away with so much.
Oh. Well, what do you think he'll do?
He'll bide his time, gain her confidence. It's important that you don't let on to Amy that anything's wrong now.
Oh, why?
Well, if she gets the idea someone's after her, she'll get scared, and he'll know it. I want him to think he's safe. Now, don't worry. I'll always be around, and the minute he tries something, I've got him.
I don't like the idea of Amy being bait.
Well, she's not bait. She's a sitting pigeon right now. But the killer has to make a move before I can arrest him.
This must be a bad dream.
It's not pleasant, I know. I'm pretty sure this Russell is our man. I don't want him scared off.
Oh, what a way to start a vacation.
Lois? Hi.
Hi.
Where have you been, sleepyhead?
Oh, well, I didn't sleep well. Everything all right?
I've been here every minute.
Gosh, Lois, I'm sorry I ran out on you, but I couldn't wake you up.
Oh, it's all right.
Hey, the water's wonderful. Why don't you and Ralph swim out for a while?
Well, maybe we will.
We swam all the way out to that island, way out there.
You swam to the island alone?
No, Fred was with me.
You want a dip before lunch, Lois?
Well, yes. Let's all go.
I think Amy and I have had enough.
Gosh, yes. We'll just stay here and watch.
Oh, come on, a little more
It's
wouldn't
all right,
hurt.
Lois. They have been in quite a while.
Too long. And Amy's getting cold.
Oh, all right. Well, we won't be long.
Race you to the raft.
Okay. Hurry up with that shower, Amy. It's time for lunch.
Isn't he wonderful, Lois?
What?
Fred. Isn't he wonderful? I've never had a steady in all my life, and now in one day...
Amy, just how friendly are you getting with Fred?
What do you mean?
Well, I admit I did tell you to let your hair down and enjoy yourself. But, you know, there are other men here, too.
Oh, Lois.
No, you said you liked that blonde man at the bar last night.
But Fred seems so interested in me. For myself, I sort of like it.
What has he said?
He asks me all sorts of questions about myself. It makes me feel important.
Does he know who you are, Amy?
Well, of course. We all introduced ourselves last night.
I mean about the Archer Hamlin business.
He said he remembered me from all the publicity in the papers.
Did you tell him, or did he bring it up?
Lois, why are you asking all these questions?
Well, I just don't want you to take Fred too seriously, honey.
You're not jealous.
Oh, of course not.
I mean, you've got your date for the week.
I know, but that
Lois, I'm really enjoying myself. Let me. I like Fred. No one has ever been interested in me like this before.
It's nice to be wanted, to be loved, to be admired for oneself. And unsuspecting Amy Hastings is enjoying every minute of it. She's having a wonderful time. It's poor Lois who's having a horrible time. We'll get back to our fun in the sun when I return shortly with Act 2.
People can reach, people can touch, people can help, people so much.
This is Paul Newman speaking. Ever been close to a family struck by cancer? Naturally, your feelings go out to them and you ask if there's anything you can do. And they say no thanks and you feel so helpless. Well, there is something you can do. You can tell someone in the family to get in touch with the American Cancer Society. Volunteers there are helping people every day with services and information and counseling about local community resources. That can mean arranging transportation or homemaking help or informing them about existing rehabilitation programs. When your cancer crusader calls, join the people who care about people. Give generously. We want to wipe out cancer in your lifetime.
Right now, you can get True Value Hardware Store's finest latex paints at special low prices. Hi, Frank Lieber here to tell you that TruTex Supreme Latex House Paint is now just $7.44 a gallon. And TruTex Supreme Satin U Interior Latex is just $6.99 a gallon. The house paint comes in 24 earth tone Jamestown colors and white. It protects and wears like a fine oil-based paint. Yet it's latex, so it's easy to apply and easy to clean up after. The interior flat latex comes in 48 colors and white. It goes on smoothly without dripping or painty odor. TruTest Supreme Latex House Paint, just $7.44 a gallon. Satin U Interior Latex, just $6.99 a gallon. True Value Hardware Stores make TruTest paints in their own factories. They know their reputation as paint specialists depends on the quality of that paint. Get TruTest paints at special low prices now during the Labor Day paint sale exclusively at True Value Hardware Stores.
The Tomahawk Tree Lodge stands majestically on a mountaintop. Lush green lawns sweep invitingly toward the clear blue waters of Quail Lake. To Amy Hastings, enjoying her first vacation without her parents, it's a paradise. To her friend Lois Wilson, it's something else again.
Is anyone having dessert? Oh, gee, not me. I couldn't eat another bite.
I'll pass. By me.
Well, what's on the agenda for the afternoon? Croquet? Horseshoes? Badminton?
Gee, you know, it's too bad the ski lift isn't running today.
Does it ever in summer?
Sure, all year round. It's just down for repairs.
Oh.
You know, it's a great scenic ride. Go all the way to the top of the mountain and back.
Hey, maybe we can do that later on in the week.
Okay. What do you say to a horseback ride?
Oh, that sounds exciting.
Good way to work off a big meal.
Amy, you've never been on a horse in your life.
I know, and I've always wanted to.
I'm afraid the merry-go-round's been the extent of my riding.
I think we'd all have just as much fun here at the lodge. Besides, it's too hot. I mean, I'd love to try croquet.
Well, okay, but if Amy would like to ride, we'll go along and meet you two later.
Yes, I really want to go. Now, Lois, don't you worry. Nothing can happen.
Okay, let's go then.
Ralph?
Oh, so just being a wet blanket. After all, we're here to enjoy the facilities. We'll take a shot at horseback riding, too. We're paying for it.
Now, look, don't let me talk you into something you don't want to do. I mean, Amy and I can go alone.
Oh, no, come on, Ralph's right. We might as well have the fling we're here for.
Well, if you're afraid of a horse, it could be dangerous.
We'll take our chances.
Okay. Look, I'll go on ahead to the stables and reserve the horses.
I'll come with you, Fred. Hurry up, Lois.
I'm petrified of horses. Can you go it alone?
I can, but it's liable to look funny. I have the feeling I'm not one of Fred's favorite persons.
All right, I'll have to go, for Amy's sake. But I'll have to change. Amy's in slacks, but I can't get on a horse like this.
Well, hurry it up.
What do you think he might do?
I don't know, but horses can be dangerous.
I don't see them.
And they're probably in the stable saddling up.
Hi, folks. Ready to go out, too?
Oh, yes. We're joining our friends.
We've got two fine, gentle mares here. Have you ridden before?
Where's the couple that came down here a few minutes ago?
Oh, they're out on the trail. They said you'd be along.
Oh, Ralph, they're alone out there.
I should have known he'd try something like this. Get us going quick, huh?
Sure thing. Here we go, Virginia. You be nice now.
Oh, Lord, what do I do?
Nothing to it. Put your left foot here.
Right.
That's it.
Yeah.
Now, just swing up. Come on, I'll help you.
Oh.
There we go.
Oh.
Now you, sir.
I'm all set.
Well, you sit a horse right nicely, sir.
Ralph, what do I do?
Hold the reins. Lean forward. Your horse will follow mine. Let's go.
Whew, it's not as I thought.
We'll have to go faster. Just hold on.
Oh. Is there more than one trail?
There probably is.
Oh, golly, they may have turned off somewhere.
Well, they couldn't be too far ahead. We weren't that long at the lodge.
Oh, there's a fork in the trail up ahead.
Hold on the reins. Oh.
Oh, which way do we go?
There's fresh hoof prints to the left.
Ah, you are a detective. Oh, it's Amy.
Come on, get up there.
We may be too late.
I don't know what we're going to find.
Amy! Amy!
Here they are.
Oh, Amy! Amy, what happened?
Take it easy. She's all right. She's all right.
All right, nothing. She's flat on the ground.
Okay, Lois, I just fell off.
What happened? Well, a snake frightened her horse. I was riding behind and I saw it dart out, but there was nothing I could do. Amy's horse shied and she just slid off.
All of a sudden, my horse reared.
Well, how come you didn't wait for us back at the stable? We knew you'd catch up.
I think we've had enough horseback riding.
Well, what do you say, Amy? Do you feel like going on?
I guess I'd better go in for something a little less strenuous.
Oh, Ralph, this is impossible. Amy and I are going back to the city tomorrow.
You can't run away from Hamlin's men, Lois. The best we can do is lure them into the open. And they're pretty smart about that, too.
But I can't spend a week never letting Amy out of my sight. And he's certainly going to get suspicious with us hanging around all the time.
We don't have to be with them every minute, as long as we know where they're going.
Yes, but the minute they're alone, well, he can do anything he wants.
It'll have to look like an accident, so that limits his field of operation.
You mean like the horses this afternoon? Do you think he did something to Amy's horse?
I'm convinced of it.
Look, she looks so little and innocent dancing with Fred.
How could a girl like her get up the nerve to identify Hamlin?
Innocence can have backbone, Ralph.
Look, Lois, go along with me for a couple of days more.
Well, I guess I'll have to. But I look over there at Amy dancing with that man, and I shudder.
I hope you're not mad because I spoiled the horseback riding today, Fred.
No. Of course not, Amy.
You know, you're kind of quiet tonight.
Well, it's just that... Amy, can't we shake that friend of yours and her Romeo?
Well, Lois and I did come together, and we are best friends.
I know that. It's just that I'd like to be with you alone sometime. What do you say we slip down to the lake and take out a canoe?
Well,
Without telling your friend.
Oh, Fred, they're watching us dance. They'll probably just follow us.
None of their business. You do?
I don't know. Look, let's just go back to the table now. Tomorrow morning, I'll slip away early. Lois always sleeps late, and we can go somewhere together then.
Without telling Lois?
I promise, without telling Lois.
Okay. I'll tell you what. We'll go out to Tomahawk Tree.
Tomahawk Tree? Fred, that's where we are.
No, it's the tree this hotel was named after.
Oh.
There's a legend about it. Very beautiful.
Tell me.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow, then. You know, this is the most thrilling vacation I've ever had.
Well, we're almost to the top. Now, that's the famous Tomahawk Tree right up ahead.
Oh, it's so beautiful. And it's such a beautiful morning. Makes you glad you're alive.
Well, I'm glad you were able to get away without Lois.
She was fast asleep. I dressed in the bathroom and sneaked out of the room.
Well, here it is. Tomahawk Tree.
Look how far down you can see.
Mm-hmm. That's Hidden Valley.
Okay, tell me now, Fred. What's the legend?
Well, the legend is that more than 200 years ago, an Indian brave killed himself here because he was disgraced in battle. He was the chief's son, but he was a coward.
And?
So he dug his tomahawk into this tree and jumped over the edge. But when the other braves tried to remove the tomahawk from the tree and throw it after him, not one of them could budge him.
Why not?
Well, they thought the Great Spirit had locked the tomahawk into the tree as a reminder to other braves who might get wet feet, so to speak.
It's not very romantic.
I'm afraid it's not all true.
What?
The lodge has to replace the tomahawk every couple of years as the tree grows around it.
Fred, you're making the whole thing up.
Here, give me a hand.
No, I don't want to go any closer.
That's all right, I got you. Now, look straight down.
Oh, it gives me the chills.
You see on the rock down there? Can you see the outline?
I've got you. I have you.
I almost went over.
What the devil are you doing here, Lois?
What are you doing so close to the edge?
Well, we had our footing all right, but that scream of yours just startled both of us.
Well, what do you expect when I find Amy practically going over the side?
Lois, I thought you were still sleeping.
Well, it's a good thing I went out for a morning walk myself.
Mm-hmm. You just happened to come this way.
I think we'd better all go back for breakfast.
I wonder why Fred didn't want breakfast.
Well, he's probably miffed at me. But honestly, Amy, he had you too close to the edge.
Well, it sure scared me when you yelled. You know, I had no idea that you were following us.
Well, I wasn't. I was out for a walk, and I saw you there.
Lois, there's that man staring at us again. Who? The blonde one we saw the night we arrived. Remember, he was starting to come over, and Fred got there first?
Oh, yes.
Here he comes. Is it all right, Lois? I mean, are we already taken?
Listen, I don't know who's taking who anymore.
Good morning, girls.
Hello.
Do you mind if I join you?
Well, I guess not.
Thanks. I'm George Smith. I've been wanting to meet you.
I'm Amy Hastings.
Yes,
and this
yes,
is...
I know.
You do? That Archer Hamlin business again.
Yes, that's right.
Well, this is my girlfriend, Lois Wilson.
Hi, Lois.
Hello.
I was going to come over the night you arrived, but some other guy beat me to it.
Well, all's fair in love and war and summer vacations.
Amy, I wonder if you might like to play some ping pong after breakfast.
Well, sure, if you'll teach me.
Nothing to it.
I'll get Ralph and we'll make it a foursome. Oh, order me toast and coffee. I'll be right back. May I have Ralph Cook's room, please? Ralph, it's Lois. I don't know what it means, but another man's latched himself onto Amy.
It doesn't seem likely there'd be two of them, but the Hamlin crowd's clever. They could send in one to cover the other's tracks.
I told you about the incident with Fred at the cliff this morning.
Hurry up, Lois. We're ready.
Oh, have you ever shot one of these things?
In college, but archery wasn't my best sport.
Whew, I've never held a bow in my life. I wish we'd stuck to ping pong.
Well, let's just shoot for fun. Unless you want to keep score.
I'll be lucky if I even hit the target.
Let's make it just for fun.
Suits me.
Okay, I'll lead off.
Wonderful, George.
Oh.
It's a bullseye.
Come on, you try it, Amy.
Okay.
Now, your left hand on the bow.
Uh-huh.
That's right. I'll put the arrow between your forefinger and your middle finger. Like you're holding a cigarette.
I don't smoke.
Well, that's it. That's good. Now just pull back and let go.
Oh, I told you I wouldn't hit the target.
Ralph?
I haven't done this in years, but, all right. Here goes.
A bullseye.
Good shot.
Come on, Lois. It's your turn.
Well, all right, but I don't guarantee anything.
All right, now, just wait a minute, Lois. Keep your elbows out more.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's right. Now, take your stance. Let me guide your arm.
Like this?
Yeah, that's better. All right, now pull back.
Oh, I can't. It's so
A little
hard.
more, a little more.
Amy, look out.
It's all right. It just nicked my arm.
Oh, that was a close one. What happened?
Lois lost her balance. Too much tension on the bow,
Are you sure you're all right, Amy?
Yes, it's just a scratch.
I think I'd have been better off without help.
What are you trying to say, Lois?
Nothing. I'm just glad that Amy's all right. You were there. You saw it. I swear he deliberately turned me toward Amy.
Yes, and that's what's got me worried.
Got you worried?
Looks like the Hamlin crowd has more than one man after Amy.
Almost every young girl's dream is to have several men after her. But it's much nicer when romance is their objective instead of murder. We'll return to the fun at the Tomahawk Tree Lodge when I return shortly with Act 3.
Never heard of beer on the rocks? No? Swell. The people who brew Budweiser never have thought ice in your beer was such a cool idea anyway. If you only knew how ice cuts down the head and waters the taste. Oh, chilling thought. A downright tragedy with Budweiser especially. Budweiser is the king of beers. The only beer in America that's beechwood aged, naturally carbonated, which means Bud brews its own bubbles, tiny ones, over a dense lattice of beechwood strips. The beer ages the best way, the right way, naturally. But add an ice cube and bloop, there goes all that extra effort. So if you forget to cool enough Bud, skip the cubes and put your Budweiser on ice for a while, on the coldest shelf in your refrigerator. Even if the wait does frost you a little, it'll be worth it. Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis.
7C, 60-second radio commercial, take one.
See, 7C's 74 this weekend is 2 for the price of fun.
Good. That's 2 for the price of 1.
Oh, what'd I say?
2 for the price of fun.
Oh, certainly. Where else can you have so much family fun for just $1.87.5 a person?
Let's start again. Take 2.
See, 7C's 74 this weekend. It's 2 for the price of 1. Buy one $3.75 adult ticket after 2 this Saturday or Sunday, and you'll receive 1 ticket absolutely free.
God, that's absolutely free.
Oh, absolutely free. Oh. So see 7C's this weekend and save up a storm. Buy 1 adult ticket after 2 p.m. this Saturday or Sunday and have 2 for the price of fun at 7C's 74.
Cut. That's 2 for the price of 1.
Well, where else can you have so much fun for just $1.87.5 a person?
I know.
Vacations are supposed to be fun, but they can be hazardous for a girl with a contract out on her. First Fred, now George. Just who is a poor girl to trust? But Amy is oblivious to her danger at the moment.
Do you feel like a swim, Amy? No, it's just nice here on the grass. Everything's so exciting, you just have to catch your breath now and then.
Oh, come on. Let's swim out to the rock.
You go.
Well, I don't want to swim alone.
Well, where's Ralph?
Oh, he had to go into town. He had, well, some business to attend to.
You know, I wonder where Fred's been. I haven't seen him since yesterday.
Probably after someone else.
Oh.
Oh, come on. Now, don't take it seriously. That's the way everything goes at a place like this.
Well, to tell you the truth, I really like George better.
Where is he this morning?
I don't know.
Well, it's good to relax for a while. You don't have to keep up the personality front. Hey, I see they've got the ski lift going again.
You know, that does look like fun, riding in those little boxes.
They call them gondolas.
Lois, why don't we take a ride right now?
Oh, why not? If you don't want to swim.
Hey, I wonder what's going on down at the dock.
Someone probably caught a fish.
Well, let's go see.
Oh, who cares? I hate fish.
Oh, come on, Lois. It's on our way to the ski lift.
It's certainly gathering a crowd. Look, there's George.
Something must have happened. The boat boy's running toward the lodge.
I don't think I want to go down there.
Oh, come on. We have to find out.
They've dragged someone out of the water.
Let's hurry, Lois. George? George, what's happened?
They just pulled a guy out of the lake.
What?
Is he dead?
He looks like he's been in the water for at least 24 hours.
Oh, how can you tell?
Just take a look at him.
Oh, no, it's Fred.
Huh?
Fred Russell.
What happened? Does anyone know?
Well, not so far. I just got here myself.
Fred was a good swimmer. Our first day here, we swam out to the rock together.
Come on, Amy. Let's go back to the room. I don't want to stand around looking at this.
Yes, you're right.
I'll call you later.
Hello?
Lois, it's Ralph.
Oh, hello.
Can you get away for a drink?
Yes, Amy's napping.
Meet me in the lounge.
Fred's death shoots the two-man theory, doesn't it?
Not necessarily. But it sure eliminates him as a future suspect.
Ralph, could George have killed Fred to get closer to Amy himself?
He could have, and he might have.
Well, what do you think? You're the detective.
Yeah, I am. I think it's time we got Amy away from here. I'll drive her back to the city tonight. It'll be safer.
I'll come too.
No. It's better if you stay.
Why?
Well, give Amy and me a chance to slip away. You can follow in the morning.
Well, if you think that's best.
I do. Let's just play it natural for the rest of the day, I'll get away during the excitement of the barbecue tonight.
All right. Maybe you're right.
No, I am. And please, don't let on that anything is wrong. But try to keep Amy out of the way. And don't leave her side for a minute.
Don't worry. Amy. Come on, sleepyhead. Don't snooze the whole afternoon away. Let's take that ski lift ride.
Ski lift? Oh, yes, we were going to do that.
Come on. Let's get away from the boys for a while.
Laco here.
Cook calling in.
Ralph, where have you been? We've been trying to get through to you for the past hour.
What's up?
We got a line on the Hastings case. Something that might help you, Ralph.
What?
That Hamlin crowd's smarter than we thought. The killer they've sent up there to get the Hastings dame is a woman.
Oh, this is fun, Lois.
Better than I ever expected.
Look how high we have to go.
Yeah, it's a long way up.
You know, it's like the kiddie Ferris wheel we went to at Sunset Park when I was a kid.
Enjoy it, Amy. We have a long ride to the top.
Amy! Lois, open up! Amy!
Hey, what's up?
George, have you seen Amy and Lois?
Yeah, and I repeat, what's up? They brushed right by me downstairs. They were headed for the ski lift.
The ski lift? Did they get on it?
Yeah, they're on their way up. Why?
Come on. We gotta get Amy off that lift.
Gosh, this is beautiful, Lois. It's just too bad the boys aren't with us. What are you doing, Lois? Close that door.
No, Amy. We'll be at the highest point in just a few minutes.
What is this? What are you doing?
I'm sorry, Amy. I was getting kind of fond of you, but I'm getting $10,000 for doing my duty.
What? What are you talking about?
The Hamlin family is paying me $10,000 to kill you.
What?
For fingering Archer Hamlin.
But Lois, you're my friend, aren't you?
I was planted in the office, Amy, to make friends with you so that I could arrange this opportunity.
You mean you're going
I'm going to make it look like an accident. I tried to startle you that day on the cliff with Fred, but he held on to you. And that arrow, I purposely lost my balance, but I missed.
Fred. You killed Fred.
They'll find a bullet in his body when they do the autopsy. I killed him because I knew he was getting suspicious of me. I was trying to make that detective think Fred was after you. And then George showed up, and I had to switch the suspicion to him.
Who's a detective?
Ralph. Who else?
This fire road will get us to the halfway point on the toe. We can intercept them there. If we make it.
You mean Lois is actually going to try to kill Amy?
She's a hired killer. I thought it was Fred Russell first. And then you came along.
Me? I'm a coal salesman from Philadelphia.
Amy's life is in danger every minute she's with Lois.
Pray we get to the halfway point before the gondola does.
Ralph was sent here to look out for you. He wants to take you back to the city tonight, so I'll have to get it over with now.
No. No, Lois, you can't. I'll fight.
I know. That's what I expect you to do. I'll tell everyone you got panicky and tried to jump.
No.
I tried to stop you, but you were too strong for me. You fell over the side.
No one will believe that.
Well, you won't be around to argue the point.
Lois, I can't believe you're trying to do this.
Oh, come on. I don't enjoy it. I have to do it. The money doesn't mean that much, but my husband works for the Hamlin family. They made it clear that if I fail, my husband will... well, I don't have to say it.
So it's really my life for his?
Yes.
Look, you said Ralph is a detective. Maybe he can help save your husband.
Oh, Amy. Dear, innocent Amy, you don't know the Hamlin crowd. If you did, you'd never have turned Archer in. Don't make it any more difficult for him.
No! No!
Let go of the side!
I won't!
You're going out! Now!
We made it. The girls are in the red gondola. The fourth one down.
Are you sure?
That's the one they got into.
You're right. Hey, they've got the door open.
This is the highest spot, too, just before the midpoint landing.
She's trying. Hey, look.
Good Lord, they're both hanging halfway out.
Fight, Amy! Fight!
We do something?
Until that gondola gets here.
Amy! Hang on, we're here! Hang on and fight! Amy.
Oh, George, it was horrible. Lois tried to...
Quick, get her out.
Lois fell. She tried to kill me.
We know, Amy. We saw it. Now take it easy.
Get her to the car. Let's get back to the lodge. I've got work to do.
Amy, I want you to stay in your room.
And take the pills the doctor gave you.
I'm all right, really. My back hurts and my arms are sore, but otherwise...
Amy, you've had an emotional shock. We'll get you back to New York tonight.
I just can't believe it happened. That Lois...
This place will be crawling with police by nightfall. You'll be safe here, but I don't want you to leave the room.
All right. I guess I don't have any choice.
No, you don't.
I've got to get downstairs and make some more phone calls.
Now, you try to rest, Amy. Lock the door behind me, and I'll call you later.
All right. I'll be all right, really. Hello?
Miss Hastings?
Yes.
Are you enjoying the vacation, Miss Hastings?
What do you mean?
You didn't think there'd be only one of us, did you?
Who is this?
A friend, Miss Hastings. With a little advice.
Oh, no.
If at first you don't succeed, try again. It's an old adage well worth remembering. Those who heed its advice are more often successful than not. Oh, yes, there's another old saying that's a favorite of mine. See no evil, hear no evil, but most of all, speak no evil. You can stay out of a lot of trouble that way. I'll return shortly.
Some people think we play ping pong all day. They're wrong. The USO isn't all fun and games. Today, the USO has millions of problems like this one in Germany.
My family's going crazy living in a tiny apartment. Where can we live?
Today's USO has millions of problems like this one in Asia.
I'm hooked on drugs. Where can I get help?
Or this problem in Athens.
Our marriage is breaking up. Can you help us?
Today's USO has little time for ping pong. We've got serious work to do. We've got lots of new problems here and overseas. The problems are big. How big? Well, if someone asks you, who needs the USO? Tell them,
We do! We do!
over 5 million American military personnel and their families need today's USO. And because we get no government funds, we need all your support. Please give to USO through the United Way or local USO campaign.
time has come for us to leave the lovely Tomahawk Tree Lodge. We do hope you had a wonderful time. Of course, vacation resorts such as the Tomahawk Tree aren't really dangerous or menacing. That is, if you know how to ride a horse. If you're careful who your archery companions are. And, of course, if you don't have a murderer on your trail. Our cast included Lynn Loring, Francis Sternhagen, Mandel Kramer, Ralph Bell, and Nat Poland. The entire production was under the direction of Hyman Brown.
Now, a preview of our next tale.
I want you to bring me the files from the doctor's office.
What?
I want you to bring me his files, as many as you can carry, only the current cases, the people he's had recently.
But Jimmy,
Now, let me finish. I want to borrow those files just overnight. I'll go through them real quick. So fast you can have them back in the drawers by morning.
What good will Dr. Cooper's files do you?
It's just an idea I got. I mean, this analyst stuff is pretty personal, isn't it? I mean, they have to tell the doctor everything, don't they?
Yes, of course. There can't be any secrets from an analyst. That would defeat the whole purpose.
Right. No secrets. So if I could see the doc's notes, if I could read through them, well, there's bound to be plenty of stuff they'd like to hide, stuff they'd pay money to keep quiet.
Jimmy, you're talking about blackmailing.
Radio Mystery Theater was sponsored in part by Anheuser-Busch Incorporated, Brewers of Budweiser, and Buick Motor Division. This is E.G. Marshall inviting you to return to our Mystery Theater for another adventure in the macabre. Until next time, pleasant dreams.
Academy Awards. Dr. Zhivago, the monumental motion picture of our time, in Metrocolor.
Winner of 6 Academy Awards. Starts Friday at McClendon's Park Forest and ABC Interstates Wilshire.